What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Basement Radio Arcade podcast. We are a week from the launch of next console generation. I can't believe it. It's been 7 long years. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say 7 long years. It's actually been a really good console generation. Some great games, new franchises. Not on Xbox. Haha. But
messy.
That's real messy.
Start this damn intro. Start the intro. Don't listen to anything that this man just said.
Cuphead
hit the button.
Started on Xbox.
Hit the button and start the intro.
Entire shade that he just tried to throw out there.
This was brought to
and
you
all
by
your games.
Well, you know, Slow-Mo.
Bounty paper towels. The clean up your messy.
Cuphead and Ori on other platforms, so it really doesn't count. You know
that's what we do.
Sure is Horizon Zero Dawn too.
Based off of what you said some new games that were brought out this generation, and he said, but not on Xbox, and that's incorrect because Cuphead and Ori began timed exclusive. Like
this is
super timed exclusive for Xbox. So therefore, there's two.
Wait, is it?
I dispute that claim, Slow-Mo.
But is it Death Stranding on the greatest platform ever made?
I'm going to send my attorneys to the polling stations because there's some farm filth going on right now.
I call
bottom of it.
I didn't hear what you said for a second. What you said?
I said I'm suing if he does that. I'm suing you. You won't let me. I'm suing you.
I'm just making jokes.
It isn't Death Stranding on the best platform ever created called PC.
Yes, it is actually.
Well, is it Horizon Zero Dawn on the best platform called PC? So that sounds like two PlayStation exclusives that came out this generation are on PC though.
Right? Already starting this off right.
So just hit the intro, Bo. Just hit the intro so we get the show going. Let's go.
Yeah, I tell you what, I can't wait to play Halo Infinite. Oh wait, it won't be there. All right, let's get the show started.
This is.
All right. Happy election to everyone. Look, we got a great show tonight. Yeah, well, it's still going on, but yeah, you're right. It technically was yesterday. We have a great show planned for everyone. We're supposed to have the Mooch join us too, but he's having some technical difficulties, so I don't know if he's going to make it tonight, but hopefully he does. Mooch, if you're listening, hopefully you can figure out the mic issue and join us because you actually put out a really great video this week about next gen. And but on that note, we also have a returning guest, gentleman who probably needs no introduction. Somebody who plays Destiny till 7 a.m. and then at 7:30 a.m. proudly goes to the gym and squats 500 pounds. Takes pictures of himself in his mask and his ILP shirt, flexing. We see the gun show out there, Lord Cognito. What we want to know is, do you have license to carry?
That's good, bro. I like that intro. What's up, man? It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think last time we had you on, I think it was a BRAP rant. Maybe it was with J-Dub, maybe or Hogue. Or
Hogue. Yeah, I think it was Hogue.
Yeah, it was with Hogue.
Yeah, shout out, man. What's going on, people? It's been a minute. Talking some games. Next gen is upon us. You already know what time it is. My favorite time of year, man. Absolutely excited to be back. Got the fam in the building, B-Money, Eric Jackson, you already know, in DPS podcast. What's going on?
Next gen has started for some of us already.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, Slow-Mo, next gen started for some of us last year.
I'm talking about something different. Cognito know what I'm talking about.
I
know. You know what I'm talking about.
You know the vibes.
I think now I know it's okay. Cognito has had a taste of next generation per se.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, Slow's message.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Enrique was ready to get on his PC Master Race moped and go down the street. But
he don't even know. He don't know.
Hey, look, Forte, Slow-Mo, me, B-Money. Look, we've been on the next gen. for
playing old ass games on brand new graphics cards.
Oh,
yeah,
my
exactly.
God. This is a messy show today. I could already see what's going to be.
Yeah,
I already see what this is going to be.
I'm trying to get somebody to convince me that you don't play old games on new shit.
I mean, wait a minute, is Rogue Company an old game? Because that's what I'm playing on my PC.
Is it a game that came out before the new gen start?
Yo,
so basically, even Watch Dogs Legion is an old game. What ridiculous logic are you using today?
Here we go.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Wait, hold on. I didn't say anything about. I didn't say anything about. Listen. I didn't say anything about Watch Dogs.
That came out last month.
No. When did Rogue Company come out? When did Rogue Company come out?
No, you said I mentioned Rogue Company that came out.
I said, when did it come out?
August. July.
So August,
you're
July,
like,
you're going to compare that to a game that comes out 8 days? Wait, hold on. So you're going to compare that to a game that comes out 8 days before the freaking new consoles come out?
Okay, where's the cutoff, Forte? Where's the cutoff at?
The cutoff is just
hey,
is that thing postmarked to be able to come out on the same day as the count?
Wow.
Is it postmarked? If it ain't postmarked, it don't
anything
count.
postmarked. What are you talking about?
If we ain't postmarked this game to work on next gen, then it don't count.
Well, it is working on next gen.
Okay, then. So
they already announced they're gonna have a next gen version.
The fact that you tried to fight an argument with a game that literally came out.
I'm trying to find. You're creating an argument that don't even exist.
All I said is we play old ass games on brand new graphics cards. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm refuting that.
No, you're not. You can't
with actual games that have come out.
He's presenting you with facts.
Ass games. I'm actually bringing facts. You're bringing emotions.
What you're saying is 1 clock. You're basically saying 1 clock is right. That 1 clock is happen to be right? 1 clock is right. What other game recently just came out that you playing over there?
Gregor said you got more bad taste.
UPS is lit today, yo. UPS is lit.
I don't know, man. I know what my taste is. Trust me, I don't hide from it. Me and Cognito was running it till 7 o'clock in the morning last night.
Get it in, bro.
We ain't afraid to say that we gonna play the same freaking game on brand new stuff.
I know where I'm at.
I know where I'm at. I know where my loyalties lie.
Oh, boy.
I'm getting everything.
My loyalty to the Republic.
I tell you, man, Forte's Destiny tramp stamp must be real right now.
I gotta
real irritable right now.
You division dudes can't be coming up in here talking.
Hey, look, man, hold up, man. It's funny. Y'all always bring up division.
That's not because I'm gonna keep you married to that. I want to keep you married to that.
This is the straw man argument. Y'all always try to come up.
Don't try to separate yourself from that girl. Don't try to separate. You was married.
They always gotta go. But the division.
That's right. That's because what happens is Destiny keeps killing off all your people. So I gotta know who's left so we can kill that off.
Who's left?
Anytime y'all come for Destiny, I go like, oh, who you repping? What's your looter shooter? So I can talk my talk.
You know what's interesting? Right? All the other looter shooters are correct. All the other looter shooters, they come out, they fade away. Destiny's still here. Woo! Why do the other ones fade away?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
They fade away. No, not because they ain't Destiny.
They ain't Destiny. That's what it is.
That's Destiny fanboy. They fade away because the developers don't provide what the looter shooter community wants. And those people do not stick around and support garbage and developers not giving them what they want. So they leave. And those games move on, and those devs are held accountable. Now,
so what you're saying
I think this is a compliment, Forte. Forte, I think this is a compliment.
I'm waiting for the slander to happen.
Because it's coming. You know the slander's coming.
Where we support Bungie and we let Bungie just walk over us.
You gotta actually stop speaking for once in your life to hear the slander. Here's the slander. Who holds Bungie accountable? Because it clearly ain't you. No, it's not.
I swear to God, we done made videos talking about Bungie.
Oh, you made videos where you still play the game. They don't care about your videos.
No. Just because we
all your videos do is promote their game. What they care about is, are you still paying for the next expansion? Yeah, then shut up. That's
how it goes.
Fire, because that next expansion gonna be more fire than anything Division released.
Here you go, using the Division to somehow defend Destiny.
It's better than Rogue Squadron. It's better than Rogue Company too. It's better than Rogue Company too.
You can't do it. First of all,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Please tell me. Please tell me what those active users.
Bring up these
please tell me what the active users on that game is. What's the active users on that Rogue Company?
What's the active users there?
What's the active users on that game?
I don't know.
Is it $1 million a day? Is it $1 million a day? Y'all even got the doc over there supporting y'all.
We're not gonna do this.
Y'all got the
I'm not letting go of it. I'm not letting go.
No, shout out. You know what? Shout out to the Ashton Luca. Shout out.
Wait. Hold on.
Refuse to stop playing the game long enough for Bungie to actually be held accountable.
You just mad. You mad, bro. It's okay. I understand why you mad.
Another Destiny fanboy.
Yeah, shout out to the. You know what? Can I pay the bill?
Yeah, it was the super chat. Go ahead, Forte. Go ahead.
Shout out to the Ashley Luca with the $5 super chat. Shout out to her. Make sure you go to her channel. She turned on monetization and stuff for the memberships. The memberships is fire over there. Right. Shout out to her. But can't stand when non-Destiny players try to tell Destiny players what Bungie is doing. But okay. Also, I don't have to because of Game Pass. Baby.
Free $99. Let's go.
We cancel our. Guess what? So we
Game Pass don't matter because y'all already paid for the expansion before Game Pass before it came.
Oh, that'd be
no. Listen, your boy
paid your money anyway.
Why am I gonna pay for something I ain't got to pay for, Slow-Mo?
You already paid.
You still ain't answered the question about. You still ain't answered the question. The game over there got less than 5 people playing it.
Hey, I gotta get it.
Still asking the question that he won't answer. Did you pay for the expansion?
No, I didn't.
You liar! You told us.
I canceled my pre-order for the expansion.
They made the announcement for Game Pass,
and I canceled my pre-order.
Oh, you a liar!
All right,
how you gonna tell? Are you mad, Slow-Mo?
I'm not mad.
Starting the show.
I got it. Hey, disappointed. That's who I am.
I feel like
tomorrow DPS podcast. This
like Chris Wallace right now. Yeah,
I know. Continued. This will
Chris
be
Wallace
and Luca with the lies again. That's fine.
Yeah, Slow-Mo with the $5 super chat.
Give me a road company then. We talking about Destiny 2 PvP. Who cares about Destiny 2 PvP?
All right, so
who cares about a walk-ass? You know what?
All right.
We the only one over there playing it.
So mad.
All right.
I mean, like, if you want to talk bad about Destiny, he get real in this film.
No, I'm not the one that brings Destiny up every chance I get. This man interjects his conversation into Destiny conversations even on every show he goes on. Every show he goes on. Let this be the
All right, yeah, I got the new people now. All right.
Who brought up Destiny? You did.
All right, you have to mute people real quick. We gotta get some. All right. So, by the way, that's the introduction preview to tomorrow night's DPS podcast. At Slow-Mo Backslap, Gaming Forte. They go live at 9 p.m. Eastern. So they just gave you a little preview, guys. Little preview. Hopefully, you guys continue this conversation tomorrow on DPS. It was kind of
you'll say something else stupid, and it'll be something else going on.
His feelings is hurt.
All right.
I love it. He's using my analogies on me now. Congratulations, Slow-Mo. You have graduated to fandom.
Go cry to Bungie about it. They'll comfort you. And they'll be taking your wallet out your back pocket while they do it.
All right. Let's get right to the other introductions. That's DPS, guys. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got B Money 101. What's up, B?
Yo, what up, man? I'm glad to be back. I'm sorry I missed last week. I wasn't feeling too great, but I'm good, man. Next gen is next week, so I'm super excited, and let's get to it.
I'm glad you're ready for me, B?
Come on now. Come on.
I'm glad you here, B. I'm glad.
Are you ready, B? Are you ready? Dude, I'm getting VC.
Are you ready? Hey, man, don't waste your money, man. Spend it wisely, man.
Spend it wisely.
Nobody at Xbox that you don't really want.
We're gonna have to stream. We're gonna have to stream that, B.
Oh, I'm definitely down for that, man. That's gonna be great entertainment.
I would think so.
Yeah, and then we got EJ. He's 4K and
6.7 FPS.
7 frames per second.
What's going on?
Chilling, man. Chilling. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a little tired. You know, I would say, hey, for once, we didn't hold up the election.
Thank you for not doing that. But you guys also
it's on other things right now. But you know, other than that, we got your COVID on lock.
Side.
we got that, but yeah,
pushing the numbers up, man. It's crazy. 100,000.
Yo,
man.
It's wild, man. It's wild, man.
Yeah. People don't know how to sit their ass down nowhere, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know Nintendo Guru is actually in the hospital right now.
Yeah, shout out to Nintendo Guru.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. He's got COVID. He had pneumonia, and he's in the hospital. So you know, Matt prayers go out to him.
Praying for you, brother.
Yeah, hope he gets well soon, man. Because this is, I went down the rabbit hole. I'm not gonna get the whole COVID thing. I went down the rabbit hole with people on Twitter about this, and it's 99.9%, whatever. But then you hear stuff like this where you got Nintendo Guru, who younger individual. He's not a senior citizen or anything like that. Not but he's in a hospital.
Geriatric, you're right.
Yeah, he's in a hospital.
I tell people all the time, man. My barber, he was just turned 40, man. Passed away from COVID this summer.
See, that's what I say, man.
Not 99% either. I can't stand when people be throwing out inaccurate statistics. It's like the death rate of COVID is like anywhere between. I used to follow a tracker, and now I haven't in some months. But maybe about back in September when I stopped looking at the tracker, it was about like 6-7% that die from it. So this whole 1% thing, people just try their best to dismiss things. And it's as soon as the election's over, no one's going to talk about COVID anymore. Hello, we had another 100K infections just yesterday. It's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, and that's what I said when people throw that stat out. I've seen numerous people throw that stat out, and for what? To defend what? Like, what are you trying to say? And it's like, if it hasn't hit you, God bless. If it hasn't affected your family, God bless.
Facts.
But don't downplay where it has affected people. Even if it was 9% the fact is there's a percentage in there of people who are hurting.
Facts. Who
have dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dealt with it. I've had it hit. My family or whatever. So it's like that. Yeah, that joint pisses me off when I see people dismiss it, and you're dismissing it for what? To protect a party, to protect a goofball ass president.
Health should not be politicized. A pandemic should not be politicized. 230,000 Americans are dead.
Right.
230,000. Is it nothing? Is it just the flu now? Because I remember back when it was first ramping up in this country, there were so many people like it's just another flu. So that you guys just got
the sniffles.
So you guys are so soft. It's just another flu. Name a flu that's killed almost 250,000 people in one country.
Well, the other thing is that I think a lot of it's that people just don't understand. One, they don't understand infectious diseases, right?
No,
and these things exist on a spectrum, like and where COVID is in terms of infectious diseases, even if the survival rate's 99%, right? And some people get that number because there's some studies that suggest that it could be that high when you factor in asymptomatic carriers who never show any symptoms. They probably make 40 to 50% of infections. But even if it's 99% survival, 1% as it relates to infectious diseases is very, very deadly for an infectious disease. You got to remember, infectious diseases are things like the flu, right? And Lucas said the Spanish flu. Lucas right. The Spanish flu did kill a lot of people too.
That's true. Yeah.
But this thing in 7 months has become the number 3 killer in the United States. Think about that. In 7 months has become the number 3 killer in the United States. And somebody live chat says COVID fucking fake. Stop it. See, like when I see stuff like that, like it's such a tone deaf comment.
Go walk in the hospital where somebody got it.
Say that to somebody You say that to somebody who's lost someone, a
Right,
family member, or somebody who has, we have those long haulers. I mean, I get it. Most of us, majority of people probably gonna be okay. They get it, but there's that segment of the population that's not okay. And it doesn't make it any less of an impact because maybe you got it and you're okay. You know what I mean? Like it just like B said, his barber, 40 years old, died.
Or the thing is, you think you're okay, but they're still trying to figure out what the long-term effects could be of it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you may have gotten by it at this point, but you don't know a couple of years how that may turn back around.
Right.
No
definitive answers on herd immunity. Also, I think that's the other thing as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's just wild times, and I keep telling people if you don't want another lockdown, wear a mask and social distance, because what will happen is, I guarantee you, the country will lock down again if our healthcare system and hospitals get overwhelmed, where they can't treat people, or where they have to start making decisions on who lives, who dies. And you don't want that. You don't want us to get to that point. You don't, because I'm telling you, we'll lock down again, because they're not going to overwhelm the healthcare system to a point where people who getting heart attacks aren't getting the proper medical treatment, right? People who have strokes aren't getting the proper medical treatment. People are scared to go to the hospital and they die. I mean, there's collateral. You always talk, me and you always talk about there's collateral damage to this. So anyhow, that's, I mean, to get on the whole COVID rant, but
it has to happen though. I mean, when you sit back and be living in Michigan and looking at the horizon, like we just passed 4,000 cases for the first time since this has been a thing. It's like we locked down Michigan at 2,500 cases. We passed 4,000 this month or today alone. It's ridiculous. And guess what? People aren't going to do what they need to do. And somebody in the chat just said it. The government just isn't going to do. I mean, well, especially right now, going with the election and stuff, they're just not going to do what needs to be done, because Germany and them, they already done it. They're doing like countrywide lockdowns and telling people like, hey, you know what? 3 days to get your stuff in order. After that, martial law, locking everything down. Can't nobody go anywhere, because it's like you can't count on people to do what they're supposed to do, and that's the sad thing about it.
Yeah, but they said months ago it was going to be like this when it got cold.
Yep.
The colder it gets, it's going to come back. Like things were getting, like it was slowing down, and people were like, "Oh yeah, we're getting past it. Let me just go outside without my mask on. Let me just go to every restaurant. Let me go to bars again. Let me just go, mingle among my friends, because you only live once. Like it's all only about them." Like it's only about them.
My life in fear. I'm not living in fear.
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna live in fear. I'm like, but you gonna live in stupidity, apparently. Because you out here not living in fear, catching things and spreading them to other people, spreading it to people, even people that are in your social circles who are very much susceptible to what may happen. Like I just found out a friend of the family, who has had a lot of medical issues, was rushed to the hospital today because turns out he's got COVID. And a lot of people are really, really, in my friends and family are concerned because of his other medical issues. He's extremely in bad shape right now, and it's like no one knows what might happen to him. And it's because he's got so many medical issues. It's like those people are the ones that, like, it's almost like their lives don't mean anything to these people who are just like, hey, don't affect me. I'm gonna go out, like it's just but what about the other person who literally can't go out, is afraid to go outside and just get groceries?
It's just empathy at this point, right?
Yeah,
you gotta have human empathy, even if something doesn't affect you directly, right? It's just human empathy, and we all have friends here, and I know a lot of people, and they're affected. The people that you guys know that I can't comment because they want their information protected, that is breaking my heart. I'm like, wow, you okay? You know, I'm checking in on them all the time. You know what I'm saying? We just heard about Nintendo Guru today. That blew me away. And like Slow was saying, it's like, if compound that with if they have other medical histories and complications, they're higher at risk. You know what I mean? So again, it's just about empathy. Just because something doesn't affect you doesn't mean it's a non-issue. You know what I'm saying? And that's something we really got to be cognizant of.
And the one thing that really kind of blows my mind is when I hear people say, well, you know, nobody can tell me what to do, and people should live their lives they want to live and not tell anyone else how to live their life. Like, this is not the time and place to have that conversation per se, because what you don't realize is that your actions and your individual rights per se aren't greater than the individual rights of the greater community you live in, meaning that the individuals around you have the right to be safe, to be healthy, and whatever you do, if you're if you're taking risk by not wearing masks or not social distancing, you're around large crowds, you're doing all those things, and then you go into the community and you affect somebody. Maybe you're asymptomatic. You don't know you have it. You give it to someone else and they have a dire income. That's on you. You don't have the right to do that to someone else. You know, and that's the part that like really gets me kind of I don't know, just rubs me the wrong way. It's like where is, I think you said it earlier, Cog, where's the empathy for your fellow man, for the person who lives in your community to think, you know what, I need to be careful. My actions can have dire consequences on other people who didn't ask to have this, but because of my actions, they have it. That's a real thing. That's a real thing, you know? But I don't know. Anyhow.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah. Just anyhow, and it's wild because I think Slomo mentioned like the shutdown in Germany as we talk about segue to the launch of next console generation.
Yeah, what you call just told me right now. Mod just told me right now. Poland about to shut down, and I was like, he might not get a system. I'm like, wow, what's going on? Another COVID spike. I'm like, really? He was like, I'm seriously might be able to get my PlayStation 5. And I was shocked. We you go through it, not to belabor this point, but it's just like you think that we're getting over it, right? And it's like at this point, you would think numbers are going down, and it was just the reality hit me like, wow, this is still raging even internationally. You know what I mean? So we still got a ways to go, man. We still got
we just shut down a whole classroom.
Wow.
Teachers and like 14 students all at home quarantining.
Wow.
And that's just the ones that you know of.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you got parents that, I know parents at work, but there's also parents who just, they're at home. They don't want the kids at home. They've been home with them all summer. I get that too. I understand that. And they send them to school. But on a regular time, a parent will send a kid to school flu-ridden. I mean, the kid's eyeball hanging out of his head. They're like, you gotta go. That's true. And so I'm like, yeah, they're gonna send them. They're gonna send them, even if they have symptoms. They're going to send them, and we try to catch it, send them right back. And I'm talking about when they get it, they have to go to an isolation room, and then from the isolation room, like they can't even walk back through like the regular part of the school. Like they have to be escorted out through a front door part, and the parents leave them outside.
Do you escort them or no?
I do not pick them up. I will escort them out, but yeah, when it comes to picking them up, the nurse has to go get them and bring them down to a specific quarantine room where they sit for a couple hours, where they check them out, they check their temperatures, they give them, and then if it's on that level, if they have a certain amount of symptoms, the parent has to come and get them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely impacting launch of the next console generation, like Cogito said, in Poland, our good friend Mods Gaming may not get his Xbox, from a retailer because retailers are shut down. In the UK, people are worried that I might not get my Xbox Series X or my PlayStation 5 because the retailers are going to be shut down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, here we are, late 2020, and this thing's still impacting, everyone. And as it relates to gaming, it impacted E3. We were all supposed to get together this year, right?
Yeah,
Cog?
yeah. This is everybody, man. Like moms coming from Poland. That was the crippling part. That's the most sad part because I get a chance to meet and hang with other content creators, and we all know gaming is our unifier. So to not be able to meet, like that breaks me. Like B knows we do these conventions. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something we come from. So it really hit home. Like, and then even now for 2021 now, right? It's like what happens now? Is that in jeopardy? You know, is there still going to be like, we don't know when quote unquote normal is actually going to return. That's how much this is still affecting things.
Yeah, but I will say this, man. Thank goodness for gaming though, because we do have a launch next week, and maybe that's gonna, gaming's, it's nice because we can take our consoles with us, our new shiny pieces of plastic, plug them into the TVs. Some of us will play old games with higher frame rate. Some of us will be actually enjoying, new generation console generation feature sets that just aren't available on
cross generation. Make sure we're being clear.
Y'all started off early.
There's a grand total of one next gen game coming out.
You're slow almost spit up my shit.
Grand total of numero one. Demon Souls.
But look, yeah, right. Just one. But look, no. All jokes aside, I mean, it's definitely an exciting time. I'm super excited. Even if you're looking to play older games, like Gears 5, the Digital Foundry did the breakdown. 2080 Ti slow-mo.
Oh my god!
Right.
You want to talk about that real quick, slow-mo?
Oh, about the comeuppance of the Xbox Series X is the same as a 2080 Ti camp.
Yes.
Those guys.
Yes.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, as far as I know, a 2080 Ti doesn't have any problem running native 4K 60 for Gears 5. With ultra settings. I have to add in the ultra settings because if you don't, then people get confused about what you're talking about. So I mean, not to completely kill this dead horse, but essentially, Digital Foundry came out and said that Gears 5 on Xbox Series X runs at a dynamic 4K between 1080p and 2160p, which, look, it's a rock solid 60 frames per second. So overall, when you look at this, it's good. It's ultra settings and features and settings that weren't in the PC version when it first came out. So it looks currently right now better than the PC version because the PC version doesn't have that patch yet, that update yet, right? But for the guys that were out there like, oh, Digital Foundry said that the Gears 5 running better than a 2080 Ti. Stop talking about stuff that you don't understand. You don't know what any of those settings mean. You don't know what any of this stuff means. All you know is resolution and frame rate because that's all you've ever experienced on your console. Stop talking about stuff you don't understand.
Shout out to the PC
stop looking foolish. It's just like you're looking silly and foolish. And you try to warn them, and they just tell you, no, PC guy, you're just jealous because I'm getting this for $500. You spent $2K on your rig. Wrong. It's just like and that's not saying that the Series X is not an incredible piece of hardware.
No, it's
extremely well designed. And it's just like it just needs some newer games. And it just like when people see the comparisons, right, of the Xbox One X Gears 5 compared to what the Series X is going to look, they're going to be like, man, this is great. This is amazing looking. But it's just like it's always those guys that gotta like take it too far. They gotta cap so hard. It's just like I think only a 3070 is going to be able to match it. When people said that the 3070 just got announced, like there wasn't even any benchmarks for the 3070. Like, just go away. The people who compare a GPU to and say it's on par with the Series X on the GPU off of one game, not understanding that whenever these tech channels do PC benchmarks comparing different pieces of hardware, they don't use one game because one game can have one engine.
Yeah.
that runs specifically differently, and therefore one piece of hardware could actually look on par with something that it's inferior to based off of that one engine. That's why they compare like dozens of games all at once, and then they give you the average. So there's no question which is better. But you got to actually care about that kind of stuff to know that before, instead of just trying to cap for a particular piece of plastic, man.
Yeah, it's interesting. Code is out there hammering people on this point right now, man. Like all week he's been doing this. Big shout out to Optimus Code, by the way.
Salute the Code.
And I'll give you a guarantee, Slow-Mo. They're gonna do it again when the next one come out.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna happen again.
It's gonna repeat, man.
Man, that Xbox Series V, V, native 8K, 120 frames per second every game. I'm telling you, PC guys gonna be mad.
Well,
ray tracing.
Let's be for real about this, though. You can't truly put this all on the people that like on just Xbox people in general. You got to talk about where this all this news came from. Back in February on the 24th, when they announced the GPU and all the specs for it, and they said it was a 12 teraflop GPU, every news outlet out there started talking about like, yo, it's almost at the same performance as a 2080 Ti. Right. Now, of course, they're saying that because they want to start conversation around that. They know that's going to get clicks on their website.
Accurate, because like
but that's what I'm saying.
We're not going to put this on the big
but that's
site.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We can't
Mm-hmm.
just hold just Xbox people for saying that they're the ones that came up with this. They're running with a narrative.
I'm talking about specifically Xbox people, because you got the PlayStation camp that watched that Digital Foundry video, saw the one screenshot that showed the resolution gap. Screenshot, went to Twitter. Didn't even see the rest of the video.
That's a fact.
That's all they need is Slow-Mo.
That's all they want. We don't need no context. They don't need context.
2 seconds of a negative.
Wait for that slip. Screenshot.
So they take that flag and run to Twitter with it.
Yeah.
Forget the other 15 minutes where they're praising the game. The multiplayers are rock solid, 120 frames per second. Nope, don't care about that. Look at the screenshot.
Well, it's just like
down to 1080p.
it's just like dirt.
Maybe it's only 1080p for a millisecond, but it's that millisecond that I'm going to talk about. It's just like what's going on?
Factual.
Yeah, 1080p to 4K.
But when these cats gonna get tired of jumping into an empty pool?
I don't know, man. You sure that pool's empty?
Hey, maybe you got a little bit of water at the bottom somewhere, like a cartoon glass of water or something.
Something.
But unfortunately, I'm not even putting it on all the sites, man. I'm putting it on like a lot of the YouTubers too, because they're just as culpable in like.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Pushing it and trying to get people. I get it, man. You're doing content creation, you're trying to get people to come and sub and everything else, but I don't know. I see like a lot of times too, like dudes will push the information out there, and then they're like, I'm not as big as like the IGNs or whatever. I'm like, yo, if you have 500 people that came to watch what you had to say, that's 500 mouthpieces running with your information, and 500 can turn to 1,000, and 1,000 can turn to whatever. And now, and then get back to where Slow-Mo got to clown them.
Well, he likes doing. He likes doing
Slow-Mo
that.
Code out there, doing the Lord's work, just making people.
Man. Code out there doing more than the Lord's work.
Yeah, man. Code out there like Blade killing vampires, man.
I got people DMing me asking me like, "Yo, what's wrong with Code?" I was like, "Bro, Code. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with him. I guess he just tired. He tired of
y'all.
Code is calling out the fuckery per se that goes on Twitter. That's basically
well, his biggest thing has always been, just say what it is. Like I like the one tweet he put out. He said, "Hey, all right, Xbox guys, let me do it for you. I am an Xbox fan, and I am happy to be going into the next generations, but Xbox done definitely effed up by not having no games at the beginning of the generation, and I want more games." And then he just left the tweet at that. He said, "Your turn." I was like, "Oh Lord."
By the way, speaking of Code, real quick announcement. In celebration, in lieu of the next console generation launching next week, we're going to do a special BRAP on Saturday. We're gonna have Optimus Code on, and we're gonna have Paul from Red Gaming Tech come back on to join us to talk about next generation consoles and stuff. So we had Paul on back in May of this year, so he's gonna come back on and hang out.
Damn, is that long?
Yeah, it's been isn't that crazy?
Man, May?
Yeah,
it don't even feel like it's been dog. This year sucks.
I know.
So May feels like it was
May felt like it happened like a month, 3 weeks ago.
Facts. 2020 is the 5-year year.
Facts. Facts. Yeah. So that's this Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely check that out. But look, I want to go to you, to our guest, Lord Cognito Cog. Look, 7 years. It's been 7 years, and we're not really putting this generation to bed because the consoles will still be supported. But we're getting 2 consoles, 3 consoles really, if you think about it, with the Series S, and the Series X and the PlayStation 5. Cog, man, how excited are you about this generation? Like go back 7 years and I don't know if you can kind of benchmark your level of excitement 2013 to 2020, but where are you in your excitement? Are you more excited about the possibilities of this generation than the current gen?
Yeah, man, I absolutely love this type of year. It's fun because it's I love the prep. I think usually every console generation, there's usually some type of, I don't say either technical feature or some type of thing that you kind of got to prepare for. You know what I'm saying? I remember when the 360 came out, you got to get your HTT visa. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's always something. And I think, for me, like I said, I know you guys, Forte, most of you guys got a PC. So it's just to see my console brothers get NVMe SSDs to get, you know what I'm saying, this level of functionality and performance, you know what I'm saying, especially on the CPU level, you know what I mean? Because obviously being a Destiny fan, people were mad at me, man. They were mad at me, Brad. I was like, look, man, until you experience it past 30 frames, it's a different game. It's truly impactful, and when I went back and I'm like, man, it feels like I'm running on molasses right now when I'm playing on console. And it truly is. And for me, my rig, it's decent. I had a 1070 Ti. My CPU is fine. It's like an i9. But the issue has always been I haven't even, myself personally, I have not even seen 120 frames game. Right. So that's something that's really exciting me right now. You know what I'm saying? And then I just got the LG, the CX. I'm ready to push things to the limit. You know what I'm saying? You see it, I know you saw that the 2K joint. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. It's a certain level of excitement that the PC master race been living in this space for the most part. So they know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of that generation of console guys that really didn't experience all these things. So that's excited me. I'm sitting there, all right, who's the 120 hertz game? Okay, I'm picking you up because I want to test you out. You know what I'm saying? Then it's okay, you got Sony going on with these kind of cool features. You got the dual sense. I want to put this thing through its paces. I'm hearing all the functionality. Then I'm hearing a lot of the older games are getting upgraded. My Ghost of Tsushima is getting that 60 frames per mode. I want to put Days Gone through it. They're getting the 60 frame. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just so many. What I think the thing that's so fun about it is just getting both consoles, and literally it's you're your own personal digital foundry. You're putting everything through its paces. I want to see how this look. You know what I'm saying? It's so fun, man. I really do. And, for me, and for the Series X, I'm a Yakuza guy. I'm really hype about that. I never played Bright Memory on PC, so I want to fire that up because Infinite looked super impressive to me. So I think that's one developer, FQ, whatever this guy is.
It's a team now. It started out for the first maybe half of that game's development. It was just one guy, and now he's got a team. It's called I forgot.
FYQD something studio or something like that. Yeah, but I think the potential graphically is what I'm really shooting for. I want to see how it performs on the X. You know what I'm saying? And man, it's just so much going on will launch. And again, with these, especially with Series X, as far as the quick resume stuff, you know what I'm saying? A lot of my guys get it. and I want to see how this actual plays out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hyped, man. There's nothing more exciting than the console launch. Obviously, Miles Morales, you already know what it is with that. You know what I'm saying? Gonna put that through. I'm hyped, man. I really am, because this is the first time I feel that like this generation coming in power-wise. I felt last generation power-wise, as it went on, you know, we realized like, yeah, the Jaguar cars wasn't necessarily it. You know what I'm saying? But as we go on, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I'm hyped, bro. It's nothing more fun than a console gen. It's nothing more fun than that, man.
Yeah. I just want to talk about like Bright Memory real quick. I did play it on PC. I made a video about it back earlier this year. It's a fun game, very unique in its gameplay. Even though it's still like a first-person shooter, but the gunplay is pretty cool. It's pretty tight, and it's got some elements of like launching enemies in the air and juggling them and combos, and it's got some of that Devil May Cry scoring for the the combo that you do. I think it is a bit glitchy, but I think that since they're releasing it on Xbox, it probably was going to get a little bit more TLC that it needed. That Bright Memory episode 1, this is like, so there's some confusion with people because there's 2 different versions.
Yeah, there's 2 versions.
Two versions.
Yeah, there's Bright Memory Infinite, and then there's Bright Memory. And what we saw at that Xbox event was Bright Memory Infinite,
that
right?
Crazy to me.
It looks infinitely better than Bright Memory.
Yes,
but it's not coming out right now. That's the one that's coming out next.
That's the
year.
one that's coming out. Yeah, no, I clearly agree. I think for me, I just need to see what the foundation was, right? To see where we got from there, and then to me, let's be real. Like, you know, graphically, when you get a system, let's be real. We always want some graphical showpiece games. You know what I'm saying? Like just to see a little bit of the potential. And I know Xbox getting killed a lot of the stuff for the most part. You know what I'm saying? It's either third party or whatever, but that game has a lot of potential to me, and I want to see what the foundation is. And now you're telling me you got that Devil May Cry scoring kind of thing and stuff like that. I just want to get into that loop and then see what it could potentially could be, because I think it could be something, man. You never know.
Right. Yeah. It's it looks now. Just to warn people, okay, it's like, I think it's like $8 or $9.
Yeah.
The Bright Memory demo episode 1, whatever you want to call it, version that was on PC is going to be like $8 or $9 on when it comes out on Xbox in a few weeks. It's only like an hour.
Yeah.
So just kind of, like,
short.
I don't want people to be like, man, I can't wait to play this, and then it's already it gets started and it's over with that fast. They're gonna be like, man, what just know what you're getting into before you play it.
Facts.
You know what, Slow-Mo? It's funny. Cog said, playing games 120 frames a second. Cog, congratulations on that. The LG. That's a nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
But I will say this: I no longer want to hear that PC gaming is expensive, because I see a lot of you out there. Oh, I'm ready for next gen with that $1,500 OLED TV.
Why you pocket watching, Pat? Why you pocket? If they got it, they got it. No, let me stop. Right. No, but I feel what you said.
But that's big facts. Look, if you want the best in gaming, I mean, premium gaming is expensive. It's expensive, regardless of what playing through TCL. I feel King David just like.
Oh, I just felt kicking the room.
Like,
hey, big shout out to King, by the way. Big shout out to King. King's getting people to upgrade to LG's CX.
That's a fact. And to the point now, I'm worried we might get a cease and desist from TCL the way we going hard. Like, I'm seeing people like, yo, King, see, I got rid of it. Yo, I got my. I'm like,
I got my CX.
Yo, it's crazy out here, man. Yo, they go hard with that TCL slander. They don't want to be identified with that group because of this man. Like, this is crazy.
That's hilarious, man. Yeah. Go ahead, Silva.
Yeah. Having the TCL now is like when dudes accuse you of hooking up with an ugly chick.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Nah, that wasn't me. Nah, I never hooked up with that.
Man, whatever, man. I ain't got no TCL. You better go ahead.
Meanwhile, back home.
TCL shaming.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back home, you playing that TCL on. You trying your best to, trying to toggle that HDR just right, No, but what I was saying is that like any premium gaming, regardless of platform, you gonna spend money, man. Like it's you get what you pay for. If you're fine with not having the absolute best, build a starter PC for like $500-600. Get a TCL TV instead of an LG or a Samsung. It's 4K. It's just 60 hertz. So it's just like it all depends on what you care about and what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Like exactly. We all have a dollar amount in mind that we're comfortable spending, right?
Sure.
To support our hobbies. So some of us are willing to shell out $1,500 for TVs and stuff like that, or $2,000 for PCs. Some of us aren't. But at the end of the day, what we're doing with those pieces of hardware is what matters most. We're gaming, right?
Yes, sir.
We're all playing the same games. We're all enjoying the games. That's all that matters, at least in my opinion. So, but
I'm gonna defend the TCL, but TCL was fine for that 1X and that PS4 Pro. But you move up. You know what I'm saying? You do that.
Yo, you know what's funny? You brought that up. A lot of people were getting those TCLs because they were getting good reviews from CNET. That 5 Series.
The 5 Series.
They were like
600 people. TCL, like, what the hell do we do to y'all, man? We just we over here doing our thing.
Listen, they eating right now.
and catching all these fades.
They're working on the micro LED or whatever it's called that's coming out. It's supposed to be really good. It's not coming out for a couple of years though, because it's super expensive to manufacture right now. But they might surprise some people with those new TVs that come out.
They got something cooking. I did see that.
Yeah, they got something cooking. Yeah,
they be letting King know too. They every time somebody shows some new technology, some breakthrough, they be like, "Yo, TCL,
TCL."
Then he come with
All jokes aside, they are making moves in the industry.
Like, they are.
Yeah.
Seriously.
They're like the new Vizio.
Nice, man. I ain't gonna even front on it. I mean, for the for the range that you come in with, it's definitely I had no complaints for it, but I'm definitely gonna get that OLED.
He said, that being said,
you're gonna get it.
That being said,
he got bullshit quick.
Yeah.
That being said, my TCL getting replaced.
Exactly. You caught that slow. You see how E threw that in?
Yeah.
Like I said, you move up on the generation when a special generation hits, you move with the times, and then the TCL I have is not going to do what I needed to do for those new consoles.
Facts.
Is anyone rocking that Sony? What is it? The
900H?
Yeah, the 900H.
I've heard good things, man.
I've heard real good things about it. I've heard for that price point, it's a really solid TV.
It's like 1100, right?
Now, I did hear the runner up to it. If you don't want to get the OLED because you're concerned of potential burn-in, I was reading that the Vizio Quantum something P, I think, only comes in 65, 75-inch sets. Is actually really solid, like solid black levels, great HDR, really solid for gaming.
You mean the Quantum X? You mean
the Quantum X? Yeah, that's what it is. I think.
I think it beats out STX in some of the categories.
Yeah, it's like I think it's like only like $1,200, right, B?
Yeah, it's a fairly priced TV, man.
Your Vizio has really stepped it up. I remember back in the day where Vizio used to be where TCL was at. Where people would be like,
"I get the $250 TV, man."
Right. You're right. They'd be like, "Hey, it's a good TV for the price." That was Vizio. Now they're trying to compete with the big boys. It's looking good. I like more competition. Competition always makes things better.
That's how it always happens, though. TCL will be there in a couple years. They came in at the entry level price, got a lot of brand recognition, and they'll start to develop some higher class.
Yeah, are they like the number 3 seller, like a TVs now? B,
they
number
are
2 or something.
Yeah, they're not for a while.
Yeah. But so I want to go back to something what Cox said. You talk about Microsoft getting beat up a little bit, right, with the launch of the Series X. I mean, look, I put that out there like this week. I said I tweeted that. This is the least excited that I've ever been for any Xbox launch, and I've bought every Xbox at launch from the OG Xbox. I just it really hit home for me when I went to GameStop and they were like, "What games you want to pre-order with your Series X?" And I was like, "None." I mean, like, you know, and look, and I'm not, again, it's funny I say that, and people are like, "Oh, what are you talking? There's all these games." That's great. Like, that's fine. If you want to play Gears 5 again, you want to play Blinks the Time Sweeper, you want to play Voodoo Vince, you know, Fusion Frenzy, that's cool. I'm not like, that's cool, but that's not for me. But you know, outside of that, though, I will say this: they're in a much better place going into this generation than they did last generation, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I think they're going to start off slow. I'm not happy with this launch. I don't think it's a good launch in terms of games. Despite that, I do think that, and I do think that the system itself is solid. There's no question that the Series X is a fine piece of like hardware. Like, I don't think nobody's going to dispute that, right?
Yeah.
They just kind of got caught with their pants down, and unfortunately, whatever happened with Halo Infinite happened, and they just don't have anything else right now. And so, you know, for me personally, like when I think of next gen, I don't know what the rest of the panel thinks. I'm actually a little more excited for the PlayStation 5 launch. Not that I'm not excited for Series X. I think Series X down the road, maybe 2 years from now, I think we're going to see a lot of solid content from Microsoft. We're going to see some games really start taking advantage of from the first party, taking advantage of that hardware set, the hardware, the Series X. But at least for me right now, and please panel, let me know what you guys think, whether you agree or disagree. But I mean, this is the first time that I'm actually more excited for the PlayStation at launch than I am the Xbox, and that comes down to Miles Morales,
Demon Souls, Godfall.
Yeah, Demon Souls. Not really feeling Godfall, but it's a next generation title. If someone is excited for that, it's awesome. But I'm hearing great things about the haptic feedback. Like, I think NBA 2K is using the haptic feedback too, if I'm not mistaken, on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, and Call of Duty's using haptic feedback. So I'm like, whoa, wait, like I'm like, now, like, B, we're gonna play NBA 2K on PlayStation 5, and B, I'm telling you, you're sleeping on my skills. You're sleeping on my skills, sir. Your haptic feedback's gonna be rumbling because I'm gonna be dunking on you a lot. The ball's gonna be shaking.
Yo, man.
But you ain't gonna be the first person to get a cramp playing 2K. My hamstring.
I
gotta quit. I gotta quit. My hamstring locking up.
I gotta pause. I gotta pause. My ankle too. I tweaked my ankle.
My ankle, dog. I rolled my ankle, man.
I need some Gatorade, Coach.
You so lucky, man. You so lucky. That comeback was coming, man. But you know, I can't play with these hamstrings like this.
Savage.
You know,
my carpal tunnel.
In other matchups, people would bet who would win. But I think in this, we probably be more like betting like how much would B-Money beat Enrique by? Like, is it going to be like over under 30? You know, just like I'm probably gonna think over.
I might surprise you guys. You guys never know. You guys might not know I have skills.
We know.
He said, "Oh, we know."
Yeah.
He even said it like he trying to convince himself. I'm like, hey,
yeah. Like, y'all might
actually be good at this game.
Y'all don't know. B might be sneaky that one game.
You gotta talk to yourself in the mirror, man. Pump yourself up.
Watch out, B. I get buckets, man. Just watch out. I'm letting you know, B. I'm coming for you, man.
No, but that's streaming for the culture. Streaming for the culture.
Yeah, we'll definitely stream it. But no, those are the things I'm excited for.
Yes, sir.
But let me, I'm going to throw this question out because this is part of one of the titles for the podcast tonight. Who has the better next gen launch, PS5 or Xbox?
Is this really a question? Are we serious?
This is a question.
This is not a question.
This is a legit question.
Legitimate question.
You know what you doing, BRAP. Stop.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have.
I'll put you on timeout right now.
I'm trying to have healthy dialogue. Healthy dialogue here.
That's like asking the question, like, who's gonna win this next match between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys? I mean,
who do you think has the better team? Who do you got going into it?
Sunday, man.
I mean, is the stadium going to blow up? Because that's the only way that the Cowboys ain't taking the L there. I mean,
this seems like a validation question, bro. You trying to validate something? Or this is what we doing?
I'm just throwing the question.
Are you implying that one system has a better system, Lord?
No, no, because you know what? That could come down to personal choice too.
Oh my god! Well, I'll let the panel answer.
If it could come down to personal choice, Enrique, give me a scenario where this comes down to personal choice for choose the X.
I'm just saying it could. Somebody out there could be like,
think of a single one.
I'm saying somebody came out there and be like, you know what? I get Game Pass. I get 200, 300 games, for free, and they're all updated. Better graphics and stuff. Maybe for someone that's the better launch. For them.
Is that considered a game? Is that considered game launches when it's a service that
service? Exactly. When it comes down to first party, we know the answer.
I'm not answering this question. I'm just going to.
If Forte finally speaks, like I was about to have
parked hard today. Forte, you do
I
you,
man. My ass at home today, watching this dumbass lecture.
Forte's in there calling in electoral votes. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. Like, what? Go ahead, E. Go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying. I mean, at this point in the game, you're breaking it down to probably a couple of categories. You're breaking it down to the stories of the hardcores, like where they're gonna fall. The hardcores are gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. Like, if you rock with an ecosystem hardcore, that's where you're gonna initially go first, and then you'll have the people who are super hardcore, and then in position, to have both, and they're just gonna go ahead and rock with both. That's just how they're gonna do it. That's really where it is. But it's that question later, who's gonna get moved? It is. I'm personally, I of course will be down for having both or whatever the case may be. But I'm for real when it comes to the Xbox side of it. I'm at a point now where I want to get the conversation to where and it also does backwards compatibility,
right?
Not that it's like, man, two cycles now. Y'all been pushing my backlog in my face. And that's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay with it loading faster and it's gonna look better and everything else. But it's like we already went out. I took her out 4 times already. It's like I get it. I get why you're doing it, but at the same time, that's for me personally, that's not going to overly excite me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait to see Gears 5, on an OLED and see what that's doing at the launch. I can't wait to see that as a as a gamer. But it's like that's going to be new to somebody. It's just not new to me.
Let me ask you a question. What about the multiplats? Are y'all not interested in seeing the multiplats on the Series X? For example, Valhalla and Watch Dogs and all that stuff.
100% Cobb. 100% Cobb. But I do find this thing funny.
He said nobody want to see. Wait, hold on. Damn. What happened?
Well, B said that no one. B, go ahead. What do you mean no one wants to see Valhalla, man? Expand upon that, sir.
It look like garbage. Go ahead, B. Go ahead,
B. And B might be getting ready to answer what I was about to say. Go ahead, B.
Let me hear it. Been falling off for the past couple of years, and ever since they showed Valhalla, it's looked like butt butter. Nobody talking about. Everybody's all excited to look at this game. Every time they show this, it looks trash. I don't know.
He's not confident. I
want to say this too. When people keep comparing, the launch, people keep comparing the launch. I keep seeing dudes saying, "I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be playing my backlog. I'm gonna be playing that AC Valhalla." It's like AC Valhalla is also on PlayStation 5, along with those newer launch titles that are gonna be there too. Why y'all keep throwing AC Valhalla like it's only gonna be on Xbox?
Yeah, I think it's more so like. We got to wait until the comparisons come out because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, performance and all that too.
We know.
Well, we got to see. Let's look.
Typically the games do perform better on. I think this generation. I think most games pretty much performed, better on the One X, right? Than the Pro.
Yeah. I think that's really pretty much what it is.
It wasn't like night and day where it's like, oh my god, this is There was one game that really.
Enrique, the only game I can remember being definitive that people were really, really cartwheeling over was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Red Dead was great.
That was the one. Other than that, most of the times it was pretty much whichever. Nobody was really hurting whichever way.
True, but the Series X version tended to be the definitive version for the most part, right? The Xbox One X. So a lot of people, I'm just trying to give y'all motivation for the people who are invested in the ecosystem. They're going to say, I'm going to pick up the multiplats there. They're going to say they're going to play the back compat there. With the first party, it's obvious. You know what I'm saying? It's not even a cloak. It's not even a thing. We know that PlayStation offers that. You know what I mean? To Brap's point, I understand where he's coming from, right? Because he's like, look, I got to be real. Like, that launch lineup is not exciting me. You know what I'm saying? The Series X, and that's a valid thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's real. I think a lot of it comes down to the power, the multi-platform aspect, and then when they make moves like a Bethesda acquisition, a ZeniMax acquisition, when they make that type of move, then people say, okay, we see the stuff coming on horizon, so we're excited to invest in the ecosystem. It's almost like B. It's almost like
we also gotta like ask why people aren't holding them to the fire. Like we ain't even getting a Forza element.
I feel.
You know what I mean? Like we can't even get a racing game. Like
no,
nothing.
You know and we've been killing them, bro. You're absolutely right. Because the problem is this: too many eggs were in the Halo Infinite basket. Right. So at the end of the day, when now that gets exposed for what it is, right? And now it's like you said, B, right? Where's the Forza? How come nothing else wasn't ready? You know what I'm saying? At launch. And then here's my main beef that nobody I feel talks about enough is even these older games, Gears 5 or whatever, right? I'm hearing the story DLC is coming December. Halo Master Chief stuff is coming afterward. Like there should have been, the thing that I like what Sony's doing is a lot of that content is ready for launch. So at least you could show off, you want to show off new things with your new console. You know what I'm saying? So it just sucks that a lot of the stuff that's going to get performance boosts doesn't have new content in conjunction with it on launch. And I think that's the issue. Now, I know I've been holding my feet to the fire. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, yo, that's not a good look.
Oh, yo, Cog, wait. I do agree with you, but aren't they? Well, it's not. This isn't at launch, but aren't they doing some kind of additional like story content for Gears 5?
Yeah, but I'm
like
just
in
like,
December.
You're absolutely right. I'm just like, damn, it would have been cool to have that new story stuff, boom, right on launch.
Right at launch. So it's something.
So again, it just shows how mismanaged. Let's call it what it is, right? That if they listen, you buy a Series X. You look. If people get a Series X right now. The back of the box has Halo Infinite on it. They had all intention of this thing being here. So that to me is mismanagement when you look at that and now that's not there. And now your whole cupboard's bare. You're relying on this. And let's call it what it is. They doing this stuff to hold on until the stuff comes. And rightfully so. Like B, you're making fantastic points. BRAP, you're making fantastic. To the hardcore, they're going to look at that and they may like, nah, man, that's not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could wait. There's no necessarily thing for me to rush out there and get for you day one. As a gamer, you know what I'm saying? You know we getting it because we love gaming. We're going to get these consoles. We're going to put it through its pace. But I absolutely agree. And trust me, B, I've been on it. I'm like, yo, that's a bad look that your first party, nothing was ready besides Halo Infinite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Real quick, we get these super chats here. Tony Bryant with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Tony. Says, I don't give two flying fortifications about for Spider-Man, Lost Legacy, all multis will be better.
Shout out Tony Bryant. Feed the wolves. I see that game.
Thank you for that, Tony. And then we have one more super chat here from Sedu.com with the $2.99 super chat. Thank you. Says 2021 Ratchet and Clank, which has actually been confirmed as PlayStation 5 exclusive now.
Yes.
GT7, which is Gran Turismo. So that actually just was rumored. I don't know if is that confirmed that Gran Turismo is going to be a 2021 release?
Yeah, they said 2021.
Yeah, they said so.
Yeah, Horizon, Returnal, God of War, Final Fantasy 16. I mean, like Sony is stacked. If this lineup happens, right? They're certainly stacked.
Although Final Fantasy 16, I don't think it's coming out in 2021.
I don't think so either. But
I mean, it's Square.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah,
let's just be a little bit realistic here. Like 2022 is pushing it for a Square game. So
you know they're gonna come out and at least have a concert or some nonsense, and say it's coming out in 2 months, and then 3 weeks later delay it, and then say it's coming out again. And, have a movie for it, and say it's coming out.
It's a movie.
No, that's not even an exaggeration because like that's what they did for 15. It was like they had 2 like short movies and an anime, and then it's like here's a game, and it's like what's happening? Oh, you gotta watch all that first before you understand. But to their credit, they did say that the creative director said he wanted to show a trailer that showed like gameplay, and showed a lot more than just kind of your typical CG trailer that hype people up, so that people will get the implication that this is something that's coming soon, and something that already has had a lot of production and development behind it. That said, it's still Square. And then, so 2021, I don't care if that's what Sony's saying or what the Square's saying it right now. I will believe it when I see it. I think 2022 is like the earliest that we'll really see that game. Although I am really excited to play that. That's a day one for me.
No, I agree with that. And not to beat up on an Xbox, but we talked about like first party launch, Cog. I was thinking about, I went back and looked at the 2013 launch.
Oh, fire.
Man, that launch was actually fucking good.
Fire.
Man. Like, Ryse, Son of Rome, Forza, Killer Instinct, Dead Rising 3. What else was there?
A couple more joints too.
A couple other
strong launch time.
Yeah, they had some really strong games. I think they probably had a better launch lineup at launch and maybe even Sony, because I think Sony had like,
I agree.
So
I had both.
That's why mine stayed in the closet for like almost a year.
Facts. Yeah, because at the time I just had I had Rezo Gun. I had what is it? The Killzone. Was it Shadowfall? That was a good one. That was a good look. Other than that,
free to play stuff.
Free to play, yeah. Like I remember playing Rise to Death. Dead Rising 3. It was a showpiece of just the amount of NPCs and stuff, like zombies on screen. You know, frame rate was a little issue, but back then we was wild by so many people on screen. You know what I'm saying? But I remember, I know why people, they kill the Ryse fanboys, but I remember, Ryse, when we first saw that joint,
that shit looked crazy.
Yo,
Cog, it still looks good.
Yes, it still holds up, and I'm pissed that actually did. Killer Instinct, shout out to Jess, shout out in the chat. Yeah, Killer Instinct was another one. They had a solid launch, but yeah, like you said, like I'm so mad at them that they never made an optimized version for Ryse. Like, just to really take, even when the Xbox One X came out, it was one of the games that weren't optimized. But if you still throw it on, it still holds up, man.
It still looks good. That game is, I really believe this. We're going to talk about this game later on because it's one of the topics. I really do think that game, in my opinion, has potential. I liked it. Yes. I liked it. I mean, it looked short. It didn't have deep combat mechanics or anything. You know, it was QTE, but
that was also because it was being developed for Kinect. So they didn't.
It was. You're right. Yeah,
it
was for Kinect.
Yeah. When it was supposed to be for Kinect, and then you know, and you play it now.
Kinect,
I mean, look, that game looks good today.
Facts
at 900p.
At 900p,
looking game.
That's the that P game I've ever seen.
That Cry engine is no joke.
Shout out to them. We're hearing the rumblings now, right, Brad? We're hearing the rumblings.
Yeah, we are. I want to get the super chat real quick because this actually speaks to something I wanted to say about the DualSense. We got a $5 super chat from Magno Pier. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Appreciate the super chat though. It says, I think people are sleeping on the DualSense controller. The game looks I'd tell you what about the DualSense. Some of the feedback that I've been seeing from people who've been playing this thing is like, wow, like it's like almost game changing. I think Jason Schreier said it's like better than any like generational graphical upgrade or something like that. I'm paraphrasing some of that effect, but that I cannot wait to actually feel that DualSense and the haptic feedback, like playing Demon Souls and playing Miles Morales. Seeing how they incorporate that technology into these games, that it's crazy. Like for me, like with the PlayStation 5, it's not so much like the graphical upgrades and ray tracing, because like I've experienced those things already. Like I said, I've been next gen for about a year now. I've had ray tracing. Right?
Flex.
Yeah. I mean, I have. I mean, you know.
I ain't fuck Master Flex. I hear you.
Yeah. Right.
Drop that bomb.
Oh my god. But I mean, like seriously, like outside the visuals, like I'm actually more interested in the haptic feedback, because one of the things I like about that, and we would like Nintendo launched the Nintendo Switch, we talked about the controller. I remember B talking about how like Nintendo kind of sets the bar with new technology and controllers. We talked about, I think B, you brought up the rumble feature, I think, in the N64. Was that you brought that up?
Yes, sir.
And then how the industry kind of copied that, right?
Facts.
That's right.
And then what did Nintendo do with the Switch? Same thing. New controllers with the
and then Nintendo do the analog, right?
Yep, analog. All that. The controller technology usually is spawned from Nintendo. If we look back in history, so
factual.
Everybody else just kind of iterates on it and makes it better. They have a more popular platform for hardcore gamers. So they kind of get looked at in that way. But Nintendo, they always bring something new to the table.
Yes,
yeah, absolutely. And so that's why I'm like, I hear these things about the haptic feedback and the DualSense, and I'm just like, wow, like to me those are the kind of things as a gamer that new experiences, right? Because to me, like graphics, like we've all have, like I'm used to having better graphics, right? But this is something different. This is something new, right? And that's the one part that excites me. I do have one concern though, the DualSense. My fear is that after a while, yeah, it's great that 2K is going to have it, Call of Duty utilizing it, but are the third parties really going to utilize this technology? That's the part that kind of like, I if it's good, it works well. I'd like to see all third party use it, but I think Forte brought this up. Like, are they really going to use it? Like, we know how the touchpad works out, right? Yeah, the touchpad on the PlayStation 4 controller.
I think that the one benefit that we might see with that is, we heard Sony went out and spent that bag on a lot of third party content. So, you know what I mean?
That's true, yeah.
With that bag, they might be forced to, implement some of that stuff on that controller.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing Astrobot really is a fantastic showcase.
That's what I heard
of that controller and the ecosystem. I'm actually excited. A lot of people, the UI and just the functionality that they're offering. Like a lot of that stuff is cool. I mean, me and Jesgo had it in the chat, but like I was a fan of Xbox Snap when it first announced, and they have like a more refined version of it on the PS5. And I like having that picture in picture and having the customization to move it right around the screen where I want. It just seems like I feel like the UI is doing a fantastic job of showing off the SSD. Actually did the games right now because I think it's so much multitasking going on. And I just think it's dope, man. I like what I'm seeing. I really like that UI presentation that they did. I was really
it was great. Please, Xbox, bring back Snap. By the way,
I like Snap.
It's one of my favorite features, and I was upset when they took it away because I used it. I used it a lot.
Me too. I used to have my ESPN on the side. I used to be
right. That was perfect for the playoffs, man.
Yo, because you can game and you get you know what time it is.
Yeah, man.
Xbox, Snap, blah blah blah. Like it's like put it in the screen. I love that. I loved it.
Yeah, think it's possible that it returns now, like with the
fantasy joint snapped on the side, man. Keep your fantasy scores up there.
Yep, the achievement hunters. You can have your achievement things on the side. It was so much you could do.
Yeah, were you saying? You think what?
No, I'm saying now that they have the added resources in the console itself, they might bring that back.
I hope so, man.
Maybe.
But the vibe I'm getting from them, it seems the opposite. It seems like that because even we know the PlayStation 5's was the UI 4K, and for right now, those who have the Series X, it's 1080p. And the vibe I'm getting is they want to allot it to the developers, and I can't get mad at that. I mean, but I do miss those cool little features they used to have. But I think what it is with the Xbox One being underpowered in comparison to the PS4, I think maybe they have that stigma like, yo, we better not give the Kinect this extra percentage, and we better not give all this other thing. These joints better go to the game. So I understand the mentality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
no doubt. But look, I mean, I next week is going to be here before we know it. And I can't wait to fire up these new consoles, man. It's crazy. Like the last 7 years have been great. There's been so many great games that I can go back to. Think about, I immediately go to Breath of the Wild. I go to The Witcher 3. Remember The Witcher 3 dropped like 2015, right? That was like 2 years into the gen, and here comes The Witcher 3, right? Yes, we talked about Sony's first party, Days Gone, which I don't know if you guys do. Like we talked about Days Gone earlier, like it's getting that 4K 60 update. Yes. I might go back and play that again just to see what it's like at 60 frames. But the one cool thing about Days Gone is that it takes place in the Siphon Filter world. I don't know if you guys do that.
Siphon Filter was fire.
Yes, and it takes place in that world.
Love Siphon Filter. So underrated.
Very underrated. So but like all those games, God of War, the return of of Kratos, boy, all that. I mean, what else was look, Gears 5. I thought Gears 5 was probably the best Gears since Gears 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the list just goes on and on. So many great games, and I just can't wait to see what kind of games we're going to get next generation with this new hardware. With I really want to see what Sony first party does with the DualSense controller. I want to see what Microsoft does with Game Pass now, and these acquisitions of the acquisition of Bethesda. That's huge.
Huge.
Huge. I will say that maybe they should give the Fallout series to what's it called, to Obsidian, but
listen, as long as I get my new Vegas, you know what I'm saying? Like this part 2, I'm good.
Let's just keep it real. Obsidian makes a better version of Fallout.
I'll be capping for Obsidian, so you ain't gonna get no argument from me.
Yeah.
I'm Obsidian fanboy. Like I love that. To me, that's their best studio. Me and Dizzy go at it all the time. He loves Digital. I love Digital too. But it's just like when Obsidian was in the building, that to me just like that was a certified stamp prior to the ZeniMax acquisition. I love that acquisition.
And you know what? It's funny. Like a lot of people don't talk about Tim Schafer. Yes. I'm actually excited to see what Tim Schafer's going to do.
Yes.
With the financial backing of Microsoft now, because I think you mentioned this, like Tim. Yeah, Tim's talked about like the challenges of making games on a limited budget, right?
Yeah. Now having that resources is, can tap into that talent, and they have a lot of potential, man. It's just they've always been met with, financial difficulties and knowing that they were going to survive as a studio, game to game to game. You know what I'm saying? And trying to crowdfund and everything else. Yeah. So
I like it. They just bring something different to the table. You know what I mean? It ain't the same cookie cutter, third person shooter, you know what I mean? First person, adventure game. Like they bring something different to the table. And that's, you got to applaud them for that.
Two things. One, I saw something suggested from Schafer that they're going to, now that they're under Microsoft and they have a budget that, they can make decisions that aren't bound by budgets. They might make a game that's a little bit different than what people would expect from them. Not saying they're going to go cookie cutter what everyone else does, but maybe it's something a little different that they always wanted to try, but just knew that they didn't have the opportunity to do so before. But also just to speak about being under Microsoft and having the budget. I remember Schafer talking about Psychonauts 2 and how before they got acquired by Microsoft, they were going to cut all their boss fights out because they just didn't have, they saw that they were coming to the end of their budget and they did not have enough time to be able to complete those and still have the game ready. Now with Microsoft, they was like, nope, we're going to have those boss fights back in. And that's going to be a better experience. And so for these Xbox game studios, there are experienced developers like Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Obsidian. Those guys are going to really shine. I think I'll even add Playground in there because Playground has never made a bad game. Honestly, they only made races, but I mean, you make what you're told to make. So, their process is good. But I feel like the veteran developers under them are really going to have some really, really quality titles coming in the future, because they know how to make games. They know how to make quality games. They just, like, we don't really quite know how well some of their even just average games that they came out in the past could have been if they had the time and the revenue, the money to be able to make what they intended on making. And now they have that. Now it's all on them. At this point, it's just, are you going to be 343 or are you going to be Obsidian? Like, are you going to be, have all that money and all that freedom and just screw it up like 343, or are you going to have all of that and then actually put out a banger? I agree.
I think the thing too, Slow, that nobody's talking about that really excites me is that it's the acquisitions is one thing, but to me, what Sony does very well is resource sharing between studios and collaboration and them working together as far as technology and stuff like that. And to me, what's very cool is when you have, like I said, the ZeniMax acquisition, and you have all these different studios, whether it be NXL, Double Fine, all these guys, Playground,
Arcane,
Arcane, all in the room. And it's like, now you could go down the hall and be like, yo, I'm having issues with my engine. Let me see what Machine Games is doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now you could be like, okay, damn, my water is not popping. Let me go over to Rare right quick because that's slow. You know what I'm saying? And
right. Your water's not popping.
Yeah, your water not popping. We know Sea of Thieves water. You know what I'm saying? Like that's an exciting. That to me makes the team better. So like back, just want to bring it full circle to the whole launch lineup thing. I think what excites Xbox fans, and I get it, the launch is not it. First party, we know it's not it at launch. No. But it's like a sports team. It's like, yo, they done signed. Yeah, they done signed the football team. It's like they signed Bethesda, so you excited. They got the hot new free agent. It's exclusive. Okay, cool map. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing. But you see like all these draft picks and they're high quality. You know, so I think that's what it is. It's like because we know they're gonna come. You know what I'm saying? It's just they're not right now. They're not ready right now. But it's the future where you're like, okay, you gotta give them some time. But it's going to cook and it's going to be some stuff to compete. And I think that's where the Xbox fan, I think, at least that's where I'm at right now. If I didn't see any acquisitions, if I didn't see any type of thing like that, then I'm like, nah, fam. Like, I don't know what's going on over here. But I think because everybody sees the future potentially could be BRAP.
Yeah. And that's where they were at one point, man. Because I know that's where my head was when they were talking about, the Series S and not Series S, I'm sorry, but the Xbox One S, and then at the end of that, showing that console, then they were like, and then in years time we're gonna be talking about the Xbox, One X, and I'm like, what y'all doing with games, man? Yeah. I said, I get it. You wanna answer the power narrative. I understand that. I don't know why you want to answer that power narrative so bad, because I think personally,
they got smacked in the face, though. They got
smacked. They got
smacked. P was on their neck. Come on, E.
They got smacked. But I kind of feel if they would have started rolling, and this is again armchair QB, started rolling into the acquisition portions of it a little bit before they started answering some of more of that power narrative, because you had a really good showing and a really good feedback on the Xbox One S. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this real slow so I don't get all these names mixed up. And then, if you want to deal with the 1S, whatever the case may be, but I just think from 1S to Series X, it would have been like, oh, damn. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, if you would have maybe started that investment a little bit earlier, you would have been in a better place going into the launch.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's just like I said, that's Monday morning quarterbacking.
I don't think we would have made it. I don't think we would have made it to this point if that was to happen. I just think Xbox is like, honestly, the S was a stopgap. They just made the system smaller. I mean, they clocked the CPU ever so slightly better, but we're talking about how bad stuff runs. Even when the X came out, we talked about how bad stuff ran on the S. Mm-hmm. If we didn't have a system like the X to basically for Microsoft to like kind of prop up performance on, can you imagine what the conversation would have been ever since 2017 and onward? Yeah, it was like I said in the video before, it was like they dealt with the things that they could absolutely deal with at that time. They already been working on R&D. They already been working on, building another system to, this wasn't something they just decided to do. They already were working on it.
Yes.
But it's a lot harder to go out and build games when you don't have studios. Mm-hmm. They came into this generation with 6 studios, and by the time the S came out, they only had 5 because they closed Lionsgate. Yeah. So
Lionsgate.
Lionhead. Yeah, Lionhead, whatever. Mm-hmm. They're irrelevant now because they're no longer here. But so they closed that studio. They canceled Scalebound. They show off Halo as
Scalebound, Phil.
They show off Halo as a trailer. Gears of War is 2 years out at this point. And then we see what I think at that time was Ori, and we were getting Forza games every other year. Mm-hmm. So it was like, at that point, it was like you really, and Sea of Thieves just got unveiled. So it was like the games that were coming for the system really didn't wow anybody, but they also didn't have any new studios at the time to really push that narrative forward. Right. So of course, when Phil Spencer comes out and says, we're going to work on the platform, we're going to work on Xbox Live, we're going to work on the services, then we're going to work on the games. I really, truly believe that's why he went in that order, because games is what we all wanted. And trust me, I'm with everybody on that. But it's the one thing they can't control. They couldn't control themselves. They already had studios in line built to build the game. You know, Coalition was already building Gears. They already had 343 building Halo. They had Turn 10 building Forza. So the trifecta was already being built, but they had no other studios. That's why you saw 2 years later in 2017 the massive amount of studios that they purchased. And then from that point, it just takes time to do it. Unfortunately, this, and I always tell people this too, people went out and bought an Xbox One X for reasons that they went out and bought it thinking they were going to get something out of that system that was never really truly promised to them. You bought it. Xbox made that system, so all of that rhetoric about being the weakest system could stop. They was like, we need this to stop because this is a narrative that we can't control. We can control this narrative. We can have the most powerful system, so we can stop that. Now we need to start working on these games. But the biggest thing is at that point, Satya Nadella pulls them in the office saying, "Yo, why we in gaming? Why we doing this?"
Facts.
And what happens? He says, let me make this division make money. Then Game Pass becomes part of the equation. And then they just start building from there. So it's like we're at a certain point now where Xbox is, and Slomo made a really good video about how we're going to get mid-gen refreshes and stuff, and I truly believe that. I do think anybody that buys buys the X now, you might be in the market for another system by the time all these games really start popping off. So you're buying this to basically have better.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you're buying Forte. Yeah, you're buying this system basically to say, yo, I just want better games to run right now because they have you on a PC treadmill. They're treating you just like you. They're treating you just like a person that would go out and upgrade your graphics card like anybody else and saying, yo, you want better resolution, better graphics? This is the system for you. If you just want to be able to dabble in the next generation and get better load times, this system's for you. And then in 3-4 years, when all these games from Bethesda and Starfield and stuff starts coming out, they're going to have another system that's going to say, yo, you want that buttery next gen 4K 60 frames, 120 frames per second? Then you're going to pay for that one too. But it all comes back to, why are you buying the system that you're buying? So Xbox is, they're making moves that only they can make because they have the capital and the money to be able to kind of just sink money into R&D to make the things that they want to make. But ultimately, it's going to come down to the games, and the games are going to be judged in the next 2 to 3 years. But we have to get to that point. And some people are just not going to be patient enough to get there. And I understand that because people have been waiting for too long, and you can't. And Microsoft can't expect you to wait. But if you buy this next gen system, you're basically signing up for the fact that you're saying, I'm gonna give Xbox the time to do it.
But this is why I feel like they would have been in the same position no matter what they would have done anyway, because everything that they were doing was answering to their hardcore base, and the hardcore base is going to be there no matter what they do. They've been waiting all this time. They continue waiting. You know what I'm saying? And because if you're talking about it being about the games, I think that's why, be excited for whatever you want to be excited for. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm saying I think that's why, like kind of what Enrique was saying in comparison to what Sony is doing, they just kind of seem like they're doing another refresh.
But are you flipping the generation? But and I get that, but are you flipping the generation at that point though? Are you basically saying we're moving on? Because what you're saying is true. Where are they going to get the games from? They had nothing.
I know, I get that, but I'm saying Monday morning quarterback, and we're just throwing out hypotheticals. I'm saying start that process before you start answering the power narrative for fans or whatever the case may be, because you're gonna get killed no matter what. They've been getting killed. They've been called the weight state. They've been called the weight. That's been like their meme for the last almost the whole generation. I shouldn't say the whole generation, but the middle point on has been wait till E3, wait till this. Now it's wait to the games. And every time I see the conversation from the fan base, it's always, well, I got this to have my games be better or whatever it can be. And I said, that's the same thing they sold you with, the One X. And that's fine. Again, that's fine. But I'm just saying, but if you're talking about bringing in new people, bringing new fans, and again, that'll happen once they start bringing those games in. But I'm saying wouldn't it have been better if they went ahead and started answering the studio question, and then that would have put them in a better position to go into a true launch of a new console, and it doesn't feel like we're doing the 1X all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
that's how it feels to me.
He making a good point. He making a good point, because at the end of the day, it just comes down to why, like you said, EJ, like, why did it take so long for that to be the shift, right? For it to, and again, I can't comment everything in the building, or from what I've heard, obviously, is that Phil had to come to the table to let them know, if we're doing this, are we doing this? You know what I'm saying? Right. That's the vibe I got. Because the vibe before was just kind of like, they're going to go through the old way of doing things and just throw money at an exclusive title and not cultivate any studios. So to me, it almost felt like a culture shift had to happen internally, that they really wasn't all in on gaming. You know what I'm saying? And
Phil said that in the interview on Drop Frames a couple of weeks ago, where he was like, when he sat down with Sadia about it, he was like, Microsoft wasn't all in gaming. He had to convince them to be all in.
That's what I heard. We could tell that, because Z Huge to this day gets killed by fanboys on saying, "Oh, remember when Z Huge said that they didn't
but
have
his information was accurate."
Exactly, Todd. That's exactly my point. Like, y'all say that y'all trying to goof on my man, but when Meyerson was there and this and that, I'm pretty sure that was a real conversation.
That was a real conversation, and that's why I think the shift took. As gamers, we're frustrated, but I think that's why the shift took longer, because it's like, if Phil's whole presentation of him is like, if we're gonna do this, we can't, half-ass. We got to go in. You know what I'm saying? So, are you going to give me that ability to do it? Now, the thing is, to appeal to suits. Game sounds cute for us, but to suits, it's like, fam, show me the money. Right.
Yeah.
So if Game Pass is the play for revenue, and that's the hustle to get him in the door, to then get the bag to say, okay, now you can get the studios, then ultimately we as gamers get what we want. But like you said, it's like we're gonna have to wait, because it's definitely not there right now. And anybody who feels, that's not it, fam, I'm not buying no system just to be getting up-res version, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? I would say, do not cop them right now.
I also think that's the main reason why Xbox is so transparent about you don't have to have an Xbox.
Right.
Because trust me, just like they hear this, they like, even Aaron Reber was on RDS. He said, I hear all these conversations, and he was like, I he talks to different people, and I was talking to Fonz. He said, he listens to your guys' podcast. He listens to everybody's different podcast to get a different pulse of what's going on when it comes to the conversation around Xbox. Right. And the biggest thing that really comes back to that is no one truly needs to have one. So until Microsoft gives you a reason to say, you need to have this box, we're just going to make it ambiguous and say, this service is available everywhere. And guess what? The services, like I've been saying for the last couple of years, is Microsoft's forte. That's literally what their whole company has been built on for the last 20, 30 years, is basically a service model. And they're finally embracing that in the one area that they truly never really tried to compete in. And now that we're starting to see that type of competition come to reality from them, now it's just all about putting it all together. And most people, like I said, once again, don't want to give them the time to do that. And it's 100% understandable. Yeah. But that also is why they say play on PC, play on your mobile phone. All of these games will be available wherever you want. That's why I tell people Xbox, their games aren't exclusives anymore. Game Pass is their exclusive. All of their games are in there, so they're a part of that exclusive package. And as long as you got Game Pass, you always have access to the most valuable thing that's going to be available on any Xbox platform, system, ecosystem, or anything, and that's Game Pass.
No, but see, I think that conversation was, and Cog, you might know somebody there too, is when Phil kind of was moving into the big role, and he sat across from Satya, and Satya's like, because Satya has been on record saying, I'm not a gamer.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And Satya probably looked at Phil and said, okay, the last couple generations, you guys have been over in the building. You were like the cool teenagers or whatever. How you gonna pay your rent? How do you fit into what we do as a platform-based company? That little box is cute. That box ain't doing it.
Yep.
Right? So Game Pass, so Xbox becomes a platform. The box is still there because you still have a base that you can't just pull the rug from under them.
Right.
But if you notice, the push has been, like if tomorrow we can get everybody on a PC or doing xCloud and move away from that box, they would love to. I'm sure they wouldn't mind doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep.
And I kind of look at too, even every kind of move that they're making. I'm even looking at the app now.
Mm-hmm.
The app doesn't even have a store on it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
The app don't even have achievements on it.
They have a Game Pass app, and they have the app for you to do whatever your remote play, and to kind of check on some friends and do this and this and that. I'm like, yo, they don't even want me buying games on the app anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's kind of interesting. Y'all, I kind of okay, whatever. Because that's what I would do. I would go in, I would look at something, I would have it ready to download, and I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Either between that and the Game Pass app. But I think that's the message for it. It's not necessarily just like, play your games wherever or whatever. I think that was just a thing of saying,
well, I just think
how does it all fit into what we do as a platform-based company? We are not a console company.
No, I just think that's a side component to what's all happened. Like, you're absolutely right in what you're saying. I just think indicatively it just comes down to their whole problem about having to go out and buy an Xbox is kind of overshadowed by the fact that you just don't have to own one. Right. So the people that say, why would I don't want to wait, they're basically telling you don't have to wait. You can play these games without even having this system. So if you're one of those people like, Slow Mo or Enrique that's on PC and you still want to play some of these games that's coming out and not drop that $500 because you don't really too much care about being in the actual Xbox ecosystem as a system, you don't have to. You can just play them on your PC. But if you want to be able to play with your friends and stuff on games that's only available on a console, this is the system for you. But just be ready for the fact that in about 3 to 4 years, Xbox is going to come knocking on your door again. Because I truly believe what Slomo was talking about in that video is definitely going to happen because they see it works. They saw it was a reality, and they saw that people turned out in droves to upgrade their systems because just like PC gamers do with their graphics card, the hardcore console gamers will do the same thing.
Yeah. And thank you, Forte, for giving the props in that video. Shameless plug. Check out my video where I talk about I talk about whether the next Xbox is the hardware, the console is not too far away. I do believe that they are going in kind of a semi cell phone / and Phil Spencer mentioned this in the interview that I cited, GPU kind of route where although they drop new hardware on an annual basis, I don't think, and Phil's pretty much said they're not going to do that for the Xbox, but that's different than your typical console life cycle, where a console gets about 5 to 7 years and then it's moved on to a new generation. They've said for a while they don't believe in generations. They've said for a while that they're never going to lose the power narrative. This is how they don't lose the power narrative, because they're always looking to create a new piece of hardware. They see in cell phones where people will buy the next iPhone, even though they just got an iPhone 2 years ago. Right. People will buy the next Pixel or the next Samsung S or whatever, and keep moving forward with new features that aren't exactly groundbreaking or revolutionary, but still better than your current hardware. And what do? They support their old stuff on software updates, still coming out with the next update, the next iteration. But then every time they do that, there's one piece of hardware that gets left behind. It's not getting any more updates. Well, you have a problem with that? Time to upgrade to that new hotness, and that's where I think they're going. It's not going to surprise me at all if, like 2023, we get some kind of announcement from Microsoft that they're dropping like a Xbox Series V or whatever, and they're going, because for them this is just keeping up with what is current, and this and Forte's right. They listen to everything that we talk about because we have mentioned that games don't take, like, good games take a while. Some of the best games took 5-6 years to be made. If you're dropping new hardware, every 3 years. You're gonna have developers that started a game with the intention of it being on one piece of hardware, and then having it launch on other pieces of hardware that they didn't even know existed or weren't fully understanding of its existence by the time it comes out. So that's why they said they had to develop GameCore, which will allow them to, like, developers will use GameCore to help develop their games. Therefore, if they're coming out with a game that took 5.5 years to make, it's going to run on the Xbox Series S, the Series X, the Series D, the Series F, like whatever they're coming out with, it's going to run on all of those other platforms. It's going to be within their ecosystem. Now I'm not co-signing it, so to speak. And I don't do software development like that, so I can't tell you whether it's going to work or not. Time will tell whether this will be a W or an L for them. But to Forte's point, yes, Game Pass is now their foundation of everything they do with Xbox. It's all about Game Pass. It's all about getting people signed up to be a subscriber. Because once you're on Game Pass, think about all the stuff they keep making. xCloud, all the games that are going to be available and being able to play on all the devices you want to play on. What do you need to have in order to do any of that stuff? Game Pass
subscription.
Yeah, a subscription. They don't care about you owning the Xbox, but if that's how you want to play, we're gonna get you hardware to make sure you can play it that way. You want to play on PC? Hey, we're gonna put our games on PC. Hey, you don't like our trash store and how our trash store somehow will install games incorrectly and the game don't play right? Hey, we'll put it on Steam. Where somehow our own
Steam
first party game.
The Steam move is big, bro.
Somehow their own first party games play and perform better on Steam than they do on Microsoft.
Tell us how you feel about that Windows store. Now you telling the truth.
Master Chief Connection is not even work on Game Pass.
Let me tell you,
don't even make any sense.
Let me tell you the truth, fact, because you know what had me tight when Streets of Rage came out, and I downloaded that joint on the Game Pass app or whatever it was on PC. And I'm like, yo, like I couldn't play. It wouldn't launch, bro. Like, I'm like, and no one was talking about. I'm going to the forums. I'm like, yo, I want to do a cross save between, if I'm playing on my Xbox or I'm playing on xCloud, then I should be able to go on my PC. And I couldn't get the game to launch. And mad people were having a problem, and nobody's talking about. Meanwhile, Steam is everybody's chilling. Yo, it's lit over here. And I'm like, what's going on? This is your service. I am the biggest person that goes in on.
Hey, real quick, guys, I gotta get super chat real quick. I got Victor Alstein with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Victor. Appreciate it. All Xbox devs have done more than one game. Even Coalition with Shanghai is there for now. All better than 343. Can we get a Sonic Ori-like game? Thank you for that super chat, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Cog, you speaking nothing but facts. Almost every first party game that except for. Excuse me. No, I can't even say except for Outer Worlds, because at the end of Outer Worlds, there was a game-breaking bug.
Right. Yeah.
That was preventing me from completing the game. I had to find some kind of outer worldly janky way of getting around it. Essentially, it's like every time I walk through a door on the very last mission, the game would crash. Wow. Every single time. Wow. Now. It was crazy, but Master Chief Collection, everyone who had issues with it, all had it through the Microsoft store.
Yeah, it was
everyone who had zero issues had it through Steam.
The only game I will say that I don't know. I want to ask you too, both your experience. Gears 5 worked well though. That was the one for me. I don't know about you guys. Did Gears 5? Did you guys have issues with Gears 5?
I haven't played it on my PC yet. I haven't installed. One of my buddies
that was the only one. But I'm with you, bro. The other ones, that store be, I was like, I'm just gonna go over to Steam.
Hey guys, real quick. Speaking of games and stuff, I do want to get to this last topic before we wrap up. This relates to Crytek shopping Ryse Son of Rome, a sequel to that game. I know we talked about Ryse Son of Rome earlier this evening as I thought, in my opinion, was a good, decent launch title. Not the best game in the world, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think there's something there. I mean, look, the Xbox fan base, I think, this is one of the games where they said, you know what, give us another Rise. I think that there's something there. Again, I'm not a game developer, just my opinion. In my humble opinion, I think that there's something there that they could build upon. Maybe added, the story was okay in Rise. They could certainly add some NPC variety there with the enemies. They all look the same. Like you often found yourself fighting like
you fight now say 6 dudes.
Yeah,
wow.
like what am I fighting, like a clan of twins? It's like I mean, but I thought there was potential there, like the visceral combat. The Roman history. The lore of Rome and. I mean, just I mean, I thought there's something there, and I like the game.
So did they go to Microsoft, or they just kind of like get a
shopping it around? Yeah, my understanding is they're shopping it. I don't know if it's just to Microsoft. It's just something that's rumored right now. Although big shout out to Rand. Although Rand thinks that the rumor's true.
Yeah.
So look, if they announce,
so how do we feel if Microsoft doesn't pick it up?
Oh, that'd be not good in my opinion.
It's a reality that could happen.
Yeah, I mean, like if this thing came to Sony and it was a sequel, I'd be like, oh shit.
But this is the bigger point, right? Because again, old Microsoft Xbox puts themselves in these stupid positions where you had Sunset Overdrive under your control, right? So quote unquote under your control. You had Rise quote unquote under your control. This is when you don't own the IP. Now the studio's running wild. There is potential, right? We know right now with Insomniac, now that if they want to do Sunset Overdrive 2, it could go down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same thing. So it's like with this, I could, if they don't get a hold of it, right? Because it could be a situation where Rise 2 is multi-plat, and that's why the studio acquisition thing was so important, because the old way of just money hatting at one particular game, but then you don't own the IP, puts you in these stupid situations now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that
look at Alan Wake.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like Rise, for its flaws, it definitely showed tremendous potential. And should have had a sequel and should have been under the control, but they, for whatever reason, they couldn't get it to work out, and now they're in this situation now. And I really hope that they're able to get it, because that game, man, I'll never forget. That was a showpiece game for a launch title to get you excited for the future of a console, and it just sucks we never really got that sequel.
It's funny, when I played Ghost of Tsushima, I immediately thought, oh my god, this could be like, they could have made Rise, maybe not. I don't know if I would have liked the Rise in that kind of open world setting, but in terms of the combat, the way the combat was in Tsushima, right?
Fire.
They could have done something similar like that to Rise, right? Instead of doing the QT. We talked about it earlier. Like it was originally a Connect game, and then they changed it to they dump Connect and just changed the game. The QT wasn't bad, but like it almost didn't even penalize you if you missed the button, right? And I thought that was kind of odd in the game. It's like, okay, well, why am I doing QTE if there's no penalty if I miss the combo, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah,
I mean, there was a little bit of a penalty.
It was like a timing window. You didn't get a boost, but you would always win the engagement.
Yeah, exactly. If I don't hit the B button, I'm going to win anyway. So it's like, to me, it's like, what's the point of the QTE then? But
facts.
But no, it's this was discovered on leaked documents. No, there's no Hunter Biden pictures in those leaked documents. Just throw that out there. I mean, I would be, seriously, guys, I would be so excited if this came to light. I think that this would be a big get for this is like one of those. This is like a situation, right, where look, we know the game didn't sell well. It got mixed reviews, but this is something like Sony. What Sony does, we talk about Sony like. Doing for they do stuff for the fans, right? They bring games that maybe don't sell well, right? I mean, like this would be a case where Xbox can do a solid for the fans, right? They could give us Ryse Son of Rome 2. They let Sunset Overdrive go. Don't be surprised to see that on PlayStation. I keep telling people that because now Sony technically owns that IP because it was owned by. It's owned by what's it called? Why am I forgetting the developer's name now? Insomniac. Thank you. And Insomniac wanted to make a sequel. They wanted to make a sequel.
I fully intend on there to be a sequel. Although, I mean, like the lead creative director Drew Murray, he's now with the initiative, so they'll need to have a different like lead for it. But I think that's definitely going to happen at some point. We're going to see Sunset Overdrive 2 on PS5 at some point. Yep, I can't wait for it too because I really enjoyed that game. It was a really good game.
Again, a game with tremendous potential as a foundation. That's something that Sony always historically does well. Even if they don't knock it out the park with the first initial version of a game, they stick with it, and it's that cultivating thing. And then you're like, yo, look what Uncharted has become, or look what whatever has become. You love that, and that was what was missing, with the prior mentality at Microsoft. But like I said, thankfully now that's where owning your studios it pays dividends when you have control, and these are in-house now. That excites me because they don't put themselves in those positions. Mass Effect was another one that could have been there. So many missed opportunities.
BioWare,
so many missed opportunities. But thankfully, that's over with, and now it's like, okay, we see the Bethesda, we see the machine games, we see all this stuff. Okay, let's get cooking now.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to someone in the live chat. So we've been doing weekly code giveaways. I'm not doing one tonight. I would have advertised it, but someone in the live chat says, "BRAP, any code tonight? I need help buying a game."
Oh my god! What trying to eat?
Hey, I mean, is that? I wonder if that's Mooch's sock account.
Hashtag Mooches.
No, right? I hear you. I appreciate the support, man. I think this guy hit me up on Twitter as well, asking the same question. Like he says, "LOL exposed." Anyhow, so look, guys. The 10th and the 12th are going to be here, and wow! Like again, I am hyped. I can't wait for next generation. This is like Christmas for me. Better than Christmas.
What's the first game? Real quick though, I gotta ask all y'all. What's for each console? What's the first game you're putting in for each? Gotta ask y'all.
Wow! I think for me, PlayStation 5, it's gonna be Miles Morales.
Okay.
And then Demon Souls. Obviously, Demon Souls after that.
Of course. What you put in for the X? I got to know this.
I mean,
Valhalla, yeah. Valhalla, what you doing?
No, that's a great question, Cog.
I'm curious.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man.
You don't know? Come on, you gotta pick one.
If I could get a PlayStation 5, then it will be Spider-Man Miles Morales. I can't get one, but
real quick. Speaking of PlayStation 5 and cross-generation games, have you guys seen what's a game by Hello Games now? The what's that game?
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Yo, you saw that?
You seen No Man's Sky?
Really good.
I'm in. Oh, that joint look fire.
Yeah,
Cog, that looks like a completely different game.
Yo, that looked like the original vision of what we thought we were doing. I said 32 players. I said, yo, that joint look crazy.
Yeah.
That was the trailer they showed us, the original vision of the game.
I might play that on X. That joint look crazy, son.
Yeah, it did. Like when I saw it, I was like, wait, wow, No Man's Sky really
look good.
Yeah, I mean, look, when it first showed up on Game Pass, I downloaded it on my One X and just never played it because I was too busy playing other stuff. But now it's like, I mean, I'm not going to get a Series X yet.
Stop!
But no, I think it's on Game Pass PC. I'm gonna double check. I think it's on Game Pass PC now, so I think I might go ahead and cop that. But
is it on Game Pass PC now?
I'm gonna check real quick.
I'm about to check that out, man, on PC. Yeah, those would be my games, okay. What about the rest of the panel?
And y'all already know what I'm playing first.
2K.
2K.
That's right.
Yeah.
But after that, man, it's Miles Morales and Demon Souls.
No doubt.
Yeah.
2K. Dunking on Enrique.
Hey, man, there's not going to be any. No, not me dunking on Enrique.
I'm curious. Forte, what you?
No Man's Sky is on PC. On Game Pass through PC.
Nice.
I'll have to check it out. I'm going to have to check it out. Forte, what about you, sir?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Destiny.
First game
on each console.
Yeah. Destiny 2.
Each console?
Mm-hmm. You ain't playing Xbox. You ain't playing Destiny 2 on Xbox, so that's a wrap.
Oh hell no! Not day
You
one.
wait now till December 8th.
Day one. No, that's gonna wait. I don't even want to know how fast it loads. I'm gonna wait.
Fast it loads.
I know the load time is gonna be faster, but I don't care. Who wants to play at 30 frames per second?
Yeah.
Honestly, so PlayStation. PlayStation, man.
That's first.
You know what? Man, did God of War get a patch? Are they giving it a patch?
It's a 25 gig update, so it probably is.
So it's probably gonna be God of War, honestly, because my favorite game. I love that game. It might be God of War, but if you want to talk about a brand new game that's coming out, Godfall.
You go there, Godfall. Hit me up, bro.
You gonna play it on PlayStation and not PC?
Oh damn!
I'm not playing that shit on.
Why you said it like that?
Wow. PC is on PC.
No, man. PC Godfall gonna be dead in a month.
Shit, it'll be dead in 2 weeks.
See, I'm with B. See, B telling the truth. Now, this is why I got to get a PC Master Race. Come on, B. We got to ride on the right.
I'm gonna be dead, bro.
All right. Now, y'all got the performance. We feel, but y'all online communities is something to be.
Hey man, they turned it on to see what it looked like. They get it out there.
Get him, B.
Wow.
That's the dirty truth about the online community.
A little bit.
Nah, man. I'm good.
You gotta play where your friends are. That's the key. That's what we talking about.
I've been trying, man. Like, look, Avengers. I knew Avengers lost its player base before they announced it on Twitter. Because I'm sitting here like, bro. I mean, can I get a party? Can I get somebody in here to help do these missions? What's going on? Like, it was empty. Now, the thing is with PC gamers, I mean, there is multiplayer going on. It's just that they are the kind where they try out new stuff, but they always go back to that old girl. They always go back to their faithfuls. CSGO, League of Legends, World of Warcraft. It's just like they'll try the new thing and these developers try to get them to stick to it on multiplayer, but now they just go back. It's very rare that you see stuff really catch on PC. Like Rogue Company has caught on. But it doesn't happen all the time. It rarely happens.
Practice what I'm telling you.
So
behind on that X Series X with me on that Destiny. Stop playing.
So for PlayStation, it definitely is going to be Godfall.
Yo, hit me up, bro.
I'm there, bro. That's what we playing. We playing on there. For Xbox, it's going to be 2K. Because my brother I finally convinced him to get it because
you need to help Enrique.
He's bigger PC than I am.
I don't need help. I got to be in the bag.
Yeah, my brother.
It needs to be a 2-on-1.
Y'all
get that work.
Man.
But no, I convinced him to get an Xbox because the PC version isn't getting the upgrade at all. It's just going to be on console. So I said, "Yo, bro, do you want the upgrade? You got to get a console." So I'm going to be playing NBA over there. I'm going to jump back into that because that's like the only real true, like to me, that's like the only true next gen looking game, that's new, to an extent, outside of Demon Souls is a remaster. I mean, I'm not really into the Soulsborne games.
It's a remake. Difference.
Okay, it's a remake. I'm still not into the Soulsborne games. I'm not going to fraud and make it seem like I'm going to play Spider-Man's Miles Morales because I didn't even play Marvel Spider-Man, so I'm not really into that. But
you're not going to do if you didn't play you're not going to do the remaster.
No, I'm going to do it. No, that's
do the remaster.
That's what I'm waiting.
That actually be a good time.
And then transition your way into Miles.
No. Listen. Godfall's gonna be the first thing that's coming on my.
That's that looted shooter. You already know.
That's all that is. It's you got to be tied to your genre that you love the most. But that's where I'm sitting on that, and then PC day one, it's gonna be Cyberpunk because who knows when that next gen package is coming out.
Oh Lord,
facts.
I don't think Godfall is really gonna I'm gonna play Godfall, but I don't think it's gonna have any kind of lasting power.
I don't think so either. But
every time I've seen it looks nice. But the problem is that like all of the combat, it looks really redundant, and the moves look extremely repetitive, and I'm like.
You know what gave me hope slow? I'm with you. I went from hating it, liking it every time I see it, right? The only thing that gave me a little hope is I don't know if y'all saw that last narrative trailer when he got kicked off the joint and it explains the story.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, if they could do that with narrative, if there's a lot of that in the game, like cutscenes and really going, then it's going to keep me invested. But I do agree with you. Like after a while, there's so much hacking and slashing in the world.
Let's be for real. Let's be for real.
I know what you're gonna do. I know what you're gonna do. Once the 8th happens, that game's it's in the bushes.
I won't play that game no more. That game won't get played no more. I'm just being for real.
No, you're right. But I just like the fact it's a new IP. I've never seen it before. There's some potential. You know, so I just want to see what it do. But I'm with Slow, like, and be in the sense that, trust me, I saw the warts that I'm like, and the PC version definitely look way better. I'm not even gonna lie.
The game, honestly, that I'm looking forward to the most right now is Immortal Phoenix Rising. I truly enjoyed that demo when I played it on Stadia. I was like, I can't believe I actually enjoyed this game on this inferior platform that I'm playing on right now. I said, I wonder what it play like on next gen. Yeah, I truly, I beat that demo like 3 times. I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty fun, man. I like how they have a chance of actually doing something a little different. I mean, it's a Ubisoft game, so you know, beware of the Ubisoft formula, at least for the next couple of years.
Yeah,
but I'm actually looking forward to that. But I know a lot of people are going to be jumping into Assassin's Creed, and Assassin's Creed. I mean, it depends on the light. It depends on the light that you look at. It depends on what.
Why?
It depends on what trailer. It depends on what
why.
No, he's like, why would
I'm
you
feeling that joint, son.
Why?
See, like that's how I feel. I'm like, why do y'all want to play this, man? I mean, I
think like the last one. That's what it was. They really.
I understood. Honestly, you felt
but they would have been better off if they went back instead of get back on that yearly schedule again, man.
I'm with B on this though. I don't know if it was Young Ye or somebody's preview I was watching. I'm like, the graphics ain't really hit me like I thought it was. It was looking a little. Some part was looking a little spooky. But then I saw another joint, and then BRAP, you hit me. You was like, nah, that's the PC version there that looked like that. So I don't know, man. It's such a mixed bag with that game. I don't know.
I mean, for real, look, Xbox is going to be more. When it comes to Xbox, it's going to be what game in Game Pass looks the best, what's going to run the best. I'll probably be making a bunch of videos on comparisons.
Now, for me though,
that might be what I'll be doing over there.
I have to get down with that Yakuza. I might be down with that foolishness.
Yo,
you want to play on the like a Dragon engine?
I heard Yakuza Like a Dragon is fire.
Fire!
I know somebody's reviewed it.
Yeah.
Fire.
I'm getting it. Listen, because it's how I look at it. I
like the way they run.
The way they run. But it's just like, I love the fact that they have that type of game at launch. Let's be real. They never would get the Japanese games on time. It'd be late. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So it's like, it's a cool, and it's a little exclusive for them. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go check that out. Bright memory just for the graphical joint. For Sony, it's so much though. Because obviously Miles Day, but that Miles look crazy. I can't even front. I can't even hold you. That joint look crazy. But you know what's a little side joint? I'm gonna talk to Eric. He might know. You know what? No one talk about, but I think look kind of the Pathless.
Bugsnax.
Yeah,
Pathless is
the Pathless look kind of lit to me. I don't know, little Jinx from G.I. Joe with the bird. I'm in.
I was actually gonna mention that one, Cut.
Oh, okay. My bad. I was going to pass it to you.
Well, no. That's cool. Because that's but no, that's Pathless is definitely on my radar. Another one that's on my radar, which is going to be multi-platform, is Outriders.
Oh,
yeah. Outriders looks pretty good.
Outriders.
Follow my boy Bob.
Yeah,
I'm an ambassador.
Godfall in the bushes.
I'm definitely going to play Outriders.
That shit ain't coming out till February.
Hey,
that's all right.
So it's not exactly a long time from now. That's 3 months. That's 3 or 4 months, man.
It's like, be here.
I mean, that's
that second wave, man. Everybody gonna be done.
We're gonna go through a whole other lockdown before that game come up.
That's all right.
Oh boy,
that's something to play, man. Everybody be over the hype of.
It'll be all right. You'll be mad at Bungie. You'll be mad at Bungie.
We'll be mad at Destiny by that point.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how the cycle go. We be hype and then we get mad.
Yeah, that's how it is.
People walk in on Destiny coming home from work one more time.
I don't know. By the time Destiny comes out, there'll be a new season get ready to start up.
Yo, 14, I don't like how they putting us in this category of love hate. You see what they doing to us?
I know they be a fraud. It was some will be a fraud.
Well, y'all know y'all gonna do all the content in the first week anyway. It's gonna be over.
We gonna kill that in the first month. You right.
Ryse gonna be like, well, tell me what she did to you this time, baby.
True. We gonna need a house to go to.
Hey, real quick. Speaking of Destiny and like raids, Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Wow. I haven't done the raid yet because I'm not level 100. But I was talking to Bari. I was talking to Bari. I was talking to Erica. And Erica and Bari were like, "Yo, the shit is fire."
Bro, let me tell y'all, man. Coming from Destiny, and people say I know I cap.
Be careful.
Hold on. You know I gotta be respectful.
Yeah, be respectful because I know where you're going.
From a console perspective, in my opinion, Destiny raids are the most funnest cooperative experience in gaming. Right? Yes. There has yet to be the reason why a lot of looter shooters fail to Destiny, besides the fact they don't have the gunplay, is the end game. What's going to keep you coming back? What saves Destiny is the raids, the dungeons, trials from a competitive PvP standpoint. These are things that why Destiny fans are so addicted. What's impressive about Ghosts, right, is their raids actually have mechanics. Right, these are things that Destiny fans are used to, and they have a great class system. Like the potential, the fact that single player game has that level of complexity and fun in their end game content. Yes. I'm telling y'all, yo, go Sucker Punch, yo, game of the year, man. I'm putting it out there right now, man. Game of the year is Ghost, y'all.
Shout out to Sucker Punch because I'm grinding right now because I want to get to that level 100, but I'm doing co-op stories. And let me tell you something, those character classes matter.
Man, I gotta try it, man. Like I have yet to find one person that actually has said anything negative. Bro. The only thing I've seen slightly negative is someone played like 18 hours of it in like a 48-hour period and was like, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm like, well, you played it too much.
Like that's on you, player.
That's exactly. Right. I guess I finally gotta go ahead and play this, man.
Ghost is it, man.
What makes it crazy is like nobody was expecting it.
Yeah.
They announced it was like
there was no hint that they were even doing anything.
Exactly, like that. And for it to be as thought out as it is, like you sneaky bastard, man. You know?
Yeah, I was watching Jay Bari and Persona play in the raid. I was like, yo, this looks fire, bro.
Fire.
Yo, I give it props. I was like, it's a little bit of it's communication and all this other stuff. 4-player raid. I was like, yo, this looks like somebody been watching Destiny. Let's go.
Yo, Forte. But Enrique, they raid already better than the Division. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's talk about it.
Unlike you guys, I can be honest about the raid probably is already better than Division 2's raid, which wasn't very good at all.
I had to do a little slant.
Go ahead, E. What were you saying?
How many raids will we put that in front of Slow-Mo? I mean, Cognito.
For them though, you got to say for them.
Yeah, for them, you know,
they get to our level, you know. Respect.
Baby steps is good though.
Forte, have you played it? Because you seem like you're judging it and you haven't even played it.
No, I said I was watching Persona watching. I said, dude, the shit look fire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seemed like you were judging a raid and comparing it to Destiny's raids, and you hadn't even played the game. So I was just making sure that you weren't fraudulent.
Hold on. Fortunately, you can see mechanics on the screen and things that people are doing, so you can kind of compare one thing that you know versus the thing that you're seeing on the screen.
Hey guys, real quick, we got a spicy take. $5 super chat for Thundercats. Says Monster Hunter World is way better than Destiny, both Metacritic and one of the best communities online.
Ever. You know what? Let's be for real. He ain't lying.
He ain't lying. Monster Hunter World is
Monster Hunter is fucking fire.
Monster Hunter was fire.
Who got time to be running around after a giant lizard for 20 hours?
It's just not my thing.
Who got time to keep doing the same strikes over and over again? It's redundant content, and so like this is what
I don't even run.
What actually has to happen in these kind of games in order to make these games. Stop capping, Destiny fanboy. Let me finish my point here. What has to happen in these kind of games in order to keep people hooked and keep people playing, because it's it's impossible to have like unending content that is always fresh. So what you have to do is make content that has extremely high yeah, there you thank you. It has to be that high and it has to be fun.
Yes.
And of course there's going to be some people who are going to be like, well, this ain't really my jam. I'm not really into this. And they're not going to play it. But for those, you're going to catch a percentage of people, especially if your game is very high quality, a lot of people are going to try it out. There's going to be a certain percentage of people who are going to play it and go, oh, I could do this forever. I could play this and keep doing this, you know, hunting down the monster, attacking it, it runs, tracking it, all that other stuff. I can keep doing that over and over and over again for hours and hours. That's when you know you got somebody hooked. And yes, Monster Hunter World has that. Destiny has that. Really, a lot of the looter shooters have that. The problem, though, is that the level of content that you have, you have to keep following it up with additional content that isn't like super, you know, huge, but also does the same thing as the other content that they were already enjoying. And you have to listen to your community when they say they don't like certain things. You can't just say, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. We know what you want. No, that's how you end up losing people. And so when you don't do that, you're gonna be good. Like Capcom does a great job of Monster Hunter World. It's not for me.
It's not for me, but I have to admit, they have done a tremendous.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think the biggest thing for Monster Hunter is just the fact that, you know, they don't. It's still a single player game with a multiplayer skins body, because you can still play with friends, and it doesn't require you to have to log in every day to do the things you want to do in the game. And honestly, that's the reason I think the game like really survives in the way that it does, because they'll have events every once in a while, but most of the time it's like you're doing the same stuff over and over that you enjoy doing, and you're just waiting for the next DLC to come out versus you know, the game that we want to hate sometimes makes us run on a hamster wheel for 16 weeks in a row, and we hate it sometimes because the content's not good. But you know, it's to each his own. But I do think Monster Hunter is literally a better game overall than Destiny is. So I won't cap on that. I agree.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, did we did we get your
two? What's the two?
Yeah, you know, pretty much for on the PS5 side, like I said, Pathless, Miles, of course, Demon Souls.
I thought you were going to say Vote Simulator.
Oh Lord!
What is the hell? You know what that is? And I gotta get in there and see what
you gotta fend off the riders.
Yo, you doing that Ghost? Yeah, that 60 frame. We doing that. I'm doing that New Games Plus, fam. I'm with you.
Yeah, and I have not played Days Gone, but hearing what they're about
to
do.
Me too. You in the same boat.
Fire. I ain't played it yet either.
I'm
kind of glad I held off. I'm
glad I held off.
Days Gone is a sleeper hit. I'm telling you, I loved it. Great story. It is a little long in the tooth at times, but solid story.
That's right here. Yeah, it can be that. But no, I'm definitely gonna wait for the update on that. So I'll be jumping on that. So I'll be good over there. But then on the Xbox side, I'll definitely be checking out Gears Tactics, even though
Tactics,
I heard you talk about like some of the side mission stuff, but it is what it is.
Yeah, the only thing is they get to a point when the story's fire. Cinematic production value is fire. Great turn base. As you go farther, these side missions start becoming mandatory. It's gonna get and they start putting you in wild situations, unwinnable situations. That's the only thing. But once you get past that, I will say this: I'm an XCOM fan. To me, XCOM's like the GOAT of turn base.
Yeah,
they've got some of the best boss fights in a turn-based game I've ever seen. The mechanics, everything. That game, people are sleeping.
Check that out.
Yeah, trust me. If you give it a shot, man, Tactics is fire.
I'm gonna check that. And Falconer. I have my eye on Falconer, man.
Falconer?
Yeah, man. Falconer kind of has like that.
The Falconeer, where the guns go pew 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 pew.
Listen, man.
Oh my goodness!
I said, whoever engineered, who's the sound engineer for this game?
Oh boy, don't take that man joy. Talk about it, EJ. Let's go.
Look, whatever it turns out to be, it looks pretty dope because it's giving me that cross between Crimson Skies,
yeah,
Panzer Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna be in there. Pew Forte.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna be in there doing the eagle cry.
AK Forte. What you know about that?
Oh yeah, 8K.
You know about that?
Hey,
I don't know, man.
No, I hear you. I might, that solid list, sir. It's a solid list of games.
Hey,
But,
Forte, I'm trying, man. Be happy that I was able to pull.
You trying what? What you trying, bro?
I'm trying to find something to play on this Xbox. Man.
Hey, bro. Be like me, man. Be like me, man. Just let that boy sit there.
I ain't playing
comes.
I'm not knocking this, but you know how I am with it. You know where I'm at with that, man.
Now, we got you December 8th. I got you.
We got you, bro. You gonna come over. We gonna convert.
Hey, guys,
We gonna convert everybody.
I'm afraid of taking a week off, man. I'm gonna come back. Y'all light level gonna be ridiculous and be like, nah, you can't play the reindeer games with us no more, man.
Now they fixed that finally. Thank God.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I got real quick, guys. I want to get this last super chat before we wrap up the show. McCall Rankit with a $5 super chat. Thank you, McCall. Says, "Yo, y'all tricked me. I saw Ryse Son of Rome coming, and I immediately Googled it."
You lied to my soul.
Wow.
All right, man.
Didn't mean to lie to your soul.
The rumors look good. They look official.
Yeah, I mean, Rand's saying he thinks it's legit, so maybe there's something to it.
Can you imagine what they can do with the Cry engine?
Oh Lord!
Oh my God.
So we saw what they did with Ryse on that Xbox VCR. That was a literal piece of crap. The day it launched, it was outdated garbage.
And that's back then when the 15% of the power was going to the Connect.
Yeah, right. Exactly. When you're sitting there staring at you,
they are wizards to get that game there like that on that console.
What they could do with that Series X, I really hope this is the case. I'm not certain. I know Rand said there's a chance that it could have been canceled. It seems like it was something that was definitely in development based off of what the leak said that they were working on, like the Crysis remaster, another Crysis game, and then there was the Ryse sequel. And it seems like thing is that it's like it was so long ago, I guess, that it's like it could have been canceled. You never know, right? But I hope it's still in development because I want to see deeper combat from that game. I thought the combat was fun, for like two missions. Like after a while, it was just it's
you
so
tired of mistiming those button prompts, huh?
No, I didn't mistime any button prompts. I can play more than one game.
So you got perfect executions every time?
Well, I mean, for the majority of the time, yeah.
So you did miss best button prompts then, right? You didn't time them right?
Dude, I haven't played that game in forever. I don't know what you're talking about.
I just said.
Why are
you
even like? Look, I just said butthurt about Destiny. Like, why are you arguing with me right now?
I just asked a simple question. I was like, so did you miss some of those button prompts? You said, how do you miss no button prompts?
No, I don't recall missing any button prompts. It was super easy. It was super easy. And I just got bored. Now I did think,
but did you miss button prompts?
Oh man,
you mistimed them.
I didn't miss time. Exactly, like this dude is really
listen.
Ryse was a hard game to play or something.
Listen, I'm an equal opportunity. I can literally, I can praise slow-mo.
An opportunity out of nothing.
I can praise slow-mo with one voice, and I was crashing your favorite game.
DPS
podcast. Now every time I open my mouth, you gotta try to recreate some shade out of nowhere.
I just asked the question. I just asked the question,
and I answered the question. I'm good. Now I'm gonna get back to the topic.
Making sure.
All right.
You're ready. What you said.
Moving on, as I was saying. I would like deeper combat with the game. Why are you still cutting me off? Why are you still cutting me off? Stop talking.
I don't hear you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Slow-Mo.
Move on. Oh, thank you. So as I was saying,
what color is it outside, Slow-Mo? Is it red, blue, green? I don't know.
Yes,
Tell me. You're right next to the White House. Do you see orange lights?
It's the color of butthurt, which is what you are right now.
Oh man, no, that's Slow-Mo.
Hey, go ahead. So finish your thought. Then we're gonna wrap up the show. Man.
All right. So look. All I'm saying is that with that engine, it's going to be a beautiful game. Probably the best looking game that will be out on the platform if it ever comes out. Just because their engine is amazing, very demanding, very, very, very demanding, but an amazing engine. And they're really good at making sure that their games are visually aesthetically pleasing. So I think that it would be great to be able to see something like that. Finally, somebody really taking advantage of the hardware that's available to them. And so that would be cool.
Yeah. That's a great point, man. Great point. Look, I want to say, first of all, big shout out, big thank you to everyone in the live chat for hanging out with us this evening. Really appreciate the support. Please remember that we are doing a special BRAP this Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to have Optimus Code on. We're going to have Paul from Red Gaming Tech.
Nice.
We're talking about probably more of a technical conversation as relates to next generation hardware. May get into a little bit of the AMD GPUs that were just reviewed, and you definitely don't want to miss that show. It's going to be great. But please, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. Definitely appreciate the support, and I want to give a big shout out and thank you to my man Lord Cognito of the Iron Lords podcast for hanging out this evening. Cog, man, let me tell you something. It's always a pleasure having you on here, man.
Likewise,
talking video games.
Likewise, brother. It's fun, man. You know, when we talked about it, we were talking on the phone. I was like, yeah, I got to pull up right before that next gen, man. Oh, this is the fun time, man. A lot of fun. I'm excited, man. I can't wait to get these things finally. All the talk can stop about who got this and who got that. Just get these games.
RDNA 2.
Yeah, RDNA 2 for custom and all this. Like, just let's get these games. Let's bug out, man. But yeah, I had a lot of fun, man. Y'all fam, you already know what it is. It's always a pleasure coming through. You already know.
Absolutely, Cog. And Cog, so where can people find you and the Iron Lords on Sunday?
Yes. Lord Cognito on Twitter, Iron Lord Podcast every Sunday, the Lord's Day. You already know, 11 a.m. EAM Eastern, football friendly time right now during the show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, check us out, man. Don't know the guest this year. I gotta confirm, but just be on the lookout. We got something really big planned. If not this week, it's gonna be next week, and I can't spoil it yet, but it's really big. Ain't that big, but it's really big, and I'm excited, man. So stay tuned. As soon as we get confirmation, then I can talk about it. But yeah, man, appreciate the support. Also, lordsofgaming.net, man. You guys have really been supporting the website. It's truly, truly humbling to see what's been going on in the team with that. And yeah, if you like Destiny content, I got a little side Destiny podcast with my man Ebontis, man. Seeing a lot of growth there. I really appreciate the support. Forte has pulled up. Slow-Mo has pulled up even.
Yes, I have. Before, hey, look, I slander Destiny all the time, but your show is quality.
Thank you.
It's the only Destiny podcast that I could actually listen to. So that means a lot, man.
Yes, coming from you, that is you. If I get the slow-mo stamp, I'm good, man, because that man knows his lunar shooters. But yeah, salute to that. We'll be talking about that. We talk about possibly Outriders. My man E's ought to be an ambassador for that, and also look. Anthem make they make a little rumbling, so we got to talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, have you seen the changes with the with the skill trees and everything?
Yes,
I'm like, man.
Listen, all I would say is this: we already know that the fan base has been burnt, so they got to be a free service to the fan base, whatever this update is. And if we get some next gen optimization, just get some goodwill back. Don't try to put out an Anthem 2 and you ain't fixed the new joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where I'm at.
I think they understand that because they were talking about like they got only a team of 50 that's working on this Anthem next, and I don't know quite about the how much things will cost. For this, they should cost nothing. Yeah. You've lost a lot of goodwill. Yes. Your brand has been permanently damaged based off of how this game launched. You need to make that, especially for the people who bought it already. Of course they bought it in what will be last gen, it needs to be free for them.
It needs to be free. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get the goodwill back. Whether I don't know if you do a Game Pass, do something. You got to get the goodwill back. But all of that, check us out. That's the last word. Usually Fridays we go live on the Bonza channel and then goes up on IOP after. But BRAP, man, much love, salute. I'm looking forward to y'all on Saturday. I want to see what you got going on with Code and Paul from Red Tech, see what's going on. But and B Money, the fam, you already know. You know what I'm saying? EJ. Forte, you already know what we do. I'll see you on Destiny later. You already know. But much love, Brad, man. Appreciate this, man.
No, absolutely, man. I definitely appreciate it. Again, always a pleasure having you and the Lords of the Iron Lords podcast on BRAP. Like I said, we had King on, during the with
holla at Soft. Soft said holla at him. He's gonna have some.
Oh, is he good now? Can he?
Yeah.
Okay, I got to holler at Soft. I've been trying to get him on for months.
He told me to tell you that.
All right, yeah, I'll reach out to him then. So I appreciate that. And then, hey, by the way, you got a preview at the start of the show and at the end of the show of DPS podcast goes live tomorrow, Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out Gaming Forte and Slow-Mo, gentlemen. That's always a great show. Please let everyone know where they can find you guys.
This man really changed his name to Permanently Triggered.
Yeah, I know. So,
we know that fits his persona better than it fits mine because I'm the one that always triggers him to do things that he doesn't want to do. But it's fine. But it's Gaming Forte. It's fine. It's Gaming Forte everywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Xbox Live. PlayStation, it ain't gonna change because I'm not losing my stuff as usual. DPS podcast will be tomorrow night on my channel, so make sure you come through and check us out. Unlike Slow-Mo, I can actually compliment him in the same show that I slander him in, because I'm a good guy. So once again, check out my man Slow-Mo and all the stuff that's going on with his channel.
He's so mad. Oh my god.
And Incognito, I do have to tell you, man.
What's up, bro?
Super proud of the work you've been doing over your channel, especially with the Iron Lords over the course of the last few months. Ever since the Come Up On, Unlocked and all these other places, man, you've been killing it with the guests. I mean, you were killing it with the guests anyway. But you done stepped it up to a whole nother level, man. And I think the community itself truly appreciates what you're doing over there on Sundays with the group, man. And it's always great to have you here with us. But
you already know.
You gotta always shout you out.
He's a celebrity now, man.
Yeah, I know.
We over here hanging out with a famous person.
Did you notice that he changed his name to the Unlocked to
because Red keep calling me Lord Unlock, and I'm like, fam, stop. So it started to get a narrative. So I'm like, all right, I'm running with it now.
Yeah,
I'm changing my name now to I know Lord Cognito. People know.
I can't.
Cog, you're big time now, man.
I know, man.
That was Cog, to see you unlock
the hot commodity. Just to let you guys know, I'm gonna say it out loud so that that he can't back out because he big time. He might just flake on us at any point. We got Lord Cognito coming on DPS podcast next week.
Yes, sir.
After the day of the PlayStation 5 launching. We're gonna have
because we don't care about PlayStation.
Oh my god.
Look. The words of Forte do not represent GPS podcast as a whole.
We going live on Thursday because we don't care about PlayStation.
Stop it.
Well, because Slow-Mo don't have a PlayStation, so he ain't gonna be able to play anyway.
Why? See, look.
Let's wrap out the outros real quick because I gotta get to bed. But
okay, is it?
You gonna stay up and watch the freaking thing?
No, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. Go ahead.
Ain't nothing to see right now.
No,
is it my outro or is it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go. Your outro. And then go. And then
all right. So check out my channel, Slow-Mo Backslap. Check out DPS podcast again. As everyone has said, it was going to be on Forte's channel tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern. Do not miss it. We're gonna have a great time. And great show. I had a lot of fun. I'm sorry, Forte. I want to give Forte a hug. Like, he's so mad right now. He's so mad. Like his face is turning red. He done punched his Pikachu doll. He done threw his Mario hat in the trash. It's wild. I'm just You know, I just want
can somebody please go subscribe to Slow-Mo's / channel so he can get to 700 subs, because that means we're only 300 away from this man streaming Bug Snacks.
Yes. Hey, wait. First off, we need to.
No, there is no limit. There is no limit on this.
There needs to be a time limit, okay? Because like if I hit 1,000 subs like 6 months from now,
sooner or later you're gonna
not
hit 1,000
playing Bug
subs,
Snacks.
You gotta play Bug Snacks.
I did enjoy your grounded stream. I must say,
see,
it was very entertaining. When you stream games you don't like, it's very entertaining. I can't. Yo, you got like a gift with that. I thoroughly enjoy watching that.
A gift for entertaining people with my misery. Hey,
yes.
I guess it works.
Guess what,
it works, I don't know. It comes from a pure place that you hate the game.
He really hates the game. It's beautiful. He's like the modern day angry video gamer.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm like, I'm thoroughly enjoying.
Yo,
this.
but Cog, you didn't hear the best part of it though.
He's gonna
deny it. But if you go check out the episode, go check out the last episode. The man, he said it in chat. He said it to everybody in the show. We was like, yo, bro, if you get to 2,000 subs, what you gonna do? He's like, man, if I get to 2,000 subs, I'll get the platinum.
Yo, that did not happen.
There we go.
I thought that actually was true. I thought that Slow-Mo,
that is true.
2,000, he was going to platinum the game.
Enrique,
I was in the live chat for that. I remember I was watching the show when I was in live chat, and we were like,
y'all just want me to suffer. I tell you, I don't understand.
We said he get to 1,000, he got a live stream.
He got a live stream at 2,000.
I said stretch goal 2,000. You got to go for the platinum. And he was like, he said, y'all give me 2,000.
That his retelling of this just changed. Did you notice the retelling just changed?
What did you say, Slow-Mo? What did you say, Slow-Mo? What did you say?
Now he finally admitting that.
What did you say, Slow-Mo? What did you say, Slow-Mo?
I repeated what you said out loud. I wasn't saying I was going to do. I was repeating it like, that sounds ridiculous. Let me say this and see if it comes out my mouth sounding just as ridiculous as it does in my head. I said it and I was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. And then everybody was like, no, you got to
it's over. You got to do it.
I don't have to do anything to stay black.
All right.
I got to let BRAP go to sleep.
Yeah, but let's why don't you guys continue this conversation on DPS Podcast tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Are you going to be there, Enrique? You got to be there.
I will be there. I'll be there live chat. Go ahead, Forte.
Oh, I already did my stuff. You
did? Okay. Eric Jackson. Is he there? We lost E. All right. B Money. Let me know where they can find
you. Yeah, man. You can find me. Same name everywhere. Everybody go check the emails. It looks like Amazon is updating the shipment dates for the new console. So make sure you didn't get your cancellation, because I did see a couple people on the timeline saying they got their joints canceled. So
really,
definitely go check. Yeah, definitely go check.
That's why you don't order shit from Amazon.
Nope.
Yeah.
But mine's good. Mine's good. So at least one of my PS5s will be here.
One of your PS5s?
Yeah.
That was a flex right there.
Yeah. One of my 3 PS5s will be here.
PS5.
You said what?
You know, Ash and Luca looking for a PS5.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Savage. I need to know how much. B, I need to know how much I need to hate you right now. How many PS5s did you pre-order?
I have 4, man. One of them got
canceled. That's like my man King right now. You hustling out here.
Why do you have so many PS5s pre-ordered?
One for each room,
man. You know what I mean? When I step in my room, man, the PS5 got to be in there.
I hear that.
I hate B Money 101 times 4. I hate
That's hilarious. Are you back, man?
Oh, there you go. He's back.
We went to you for your outro, man. Then we saw you were gone, man. But go ahead.
Let me know. My mic got unplugged somehow. But you can find me on Twitter, EC Jackson with an X. And other than that, Gaming Perspective Podcast on Saturday nights, 8:00.
GP.
And Cog, thanks for coming through. Always good to chop it up with you, bro.
You already know.
Yep.
And appreciate the support on the Nintendo Indie stuff, man. Thank you for that, man.
Nice. How many PlayStations you got pre-order, E?
I won't actually. I'm gonna be real. I got one pre-order from my cousin. I actually, I'm gonna be holding off. I think I told you guys why, my reasons why, but I'm gonna be holding off for a bit.
Okay. So we know who to go after on the podcast now.
What?
Well, I got a PlayStation, so I mean, I'm not the one that's gonna be mad later on. Big money, man. That's bold.
Hey, man.
He said I gotta have one in every room. Man, you
right? Man. Hey, everybody had their free shot, man. all you had to do is click the button, man. I was just faster than other people. That's all.
How many times you hit F5? How many times you hit F5, bro?
Hey, man,
he's got a script running.
How many times I hit it?
You got a script running, B.
That man B got the connect, man. He'll let him fool you.
Right.
You got the email from PlayStation and everything. So you play games over here.
Yep. That's funny. Yep. All right, everyone. Again, everyone in the live chat, thank you so much for hanging out this evening. And big shout out to our special guest, Lord Cognito. Please check out the Iron Lords podcast this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Cog, always a pleasure. I'm going to call you Lord Unlock now because that was by the way, it was a great show. I know we talked about that. That was awesome.
Appreciate y'all support, man, for real.
Yeah, and definitely check out again the ILP this Sunday. Tomorrow, DPS podcast. You can feel the sexual tension between Gaming 4K and Slowmo Backslap. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And check out Eric Jackson on Gaming Perspective at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. So thank you again, everyone. Be safe. Enjoy your time gaming. We'll see you. Remember, this Saturday, special BRAP, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to have Optimus Code and Paul from Red Gaming Tech. So you definitely want to check that out. And
sexual feeling.
Oh, boy. All right. On that note, we are out. Everyone have a great evening. Peace.
Peace.